some blows at the back. And to be fair, he's probably right. At least he's going to know morals whatsoever. You can easily dispatch the friendly ghost which is the barrow in order to do his mission for the army. The next quest on our list is Grave. So is not added to a journal and ability for both other quests of this nature. However, if you follow them into the pub, then you will find that while Latvian will talk to you, Aaron is quite happy to spill the beans on Randy, and will tell you about the significant debt that he's accumulated at her inn. However, if you then randomly speak to Howard's husband, you have no way of knowing this is what you need to do next, you will have a unique dialogue answer. But frankly, look, in no way connected to Randy's story at all. Specifically, it reads, does anything need doing right here? Now, this is the second reason that barely anyone playing Unmodded Star has ever completed quest. Not only is there no quest journal entry, it's just so incredibly random how it progresses. Anyway, if you take as much as you think, it will give you Randy's full story, which essentially involves the love of his life growing up with another man. Also cool. Of course, once again, you get no quest in your journal, so you have no idea who to put next. You think it would be Randy, but you won't put it. So instead, you need to speak to Harry, who will give you anything involving a man who's bets in the brain left into the bikini and thrown to death. At least you're able to return to Randy as an offense closure. And for helping him to reach this very important closure in his life, he will reward you with an enormous pile of absolutely nothing but positive. Now, if you knew about that one without having installed the unofficial Skyrim patch, then that might be running activity, but not quite yet. How about a secret quest that has you summoning a demonic pirate beneath the college window? This particular quest, Forgotten Names, is another one of those unlocked delights that you simply have to stumble upon and work out yourself. Come to think of it, a lot of these secret quests are literally just what quests used to be before games started holding our hand quite so aggressively. Anyway, if you enter the dusty halls of the living working trapdoors of the college window and then make your way to the living dark, you will find a mysterious rainbow important. However, if you try to interact with this rainbow, nothing will happen. But once that you glance over the head of the table, a journal of some description, you smart and sausage. And if you go and investigate that journal, you'll discover that it groups of students attempted a dark ritual using gauntlet along with a set of rings, and was subsequently found dead, with those rings now being stored in the college arcane. Now, any sensible person would probably take the decision not to attempt the ritual themselves, given the success rate so far. But you're goddamn right. So rather than trying to self-preservation, you can enter the Arcanian, wait until your corner of the image is looking, and then steal the student's fingers chest. Then it's back down to the living dark to apply the rings to the gauntlet one by one in order to describe the ritual, which, as it turns out, summons a rather grumpy Draenor pirate called Better Sand, which you can choose to kill for very mediocre rewards, or you can set him free to release Khan's death upon countless unsuspecting innocents in exchange for his treasure. Now, this is going to standard level morals, but it's only been around treasure. But sorry, unsuspecting innocents don't value it in some shining check hands. And if you're wondering where to find the treasure, it's at this location on the map, just to the west of Sapphire, a member of the King Skill. And this Sapphire is worth the same amount as the player has in White Treasure, 5,000 gold to be precise, so it's worth every attention to it. However, the reason that it is so often missed is that it has very, very specific requirements. From my research and trying myself, it appears that Thursday has joined the King Skill, spoken to Tanilla, and asked for both Vex and Delve to work. Random enough, but only then will you be able to see the Glover Mallory all the way over in the Raven Rock from Solstheim to ask him about his piece of skill in Shadowmark and his girlfriend. So basically, if you haven't completed the previous set by chance before speaking to Glover Mallory and Solstheim, then you would have no idea that he has a particular skill-related quest to offer, though he may well be suspicious of the same thing. Anyway, Glover will give you a quest to retrieve the formula for the bone armor that has been stolen by a chap called Esmond. Once you do this to him, he will allow you to help yourself to anything you want in his basement stash, which is a pretty decent audience of right. However, the most important item here is an unsent letter that reveals that Sapphire is in fact his daughter. And despite the fact that the quest for Mallory has been finished at this point, and there is no quest objective related to this letter, if you take it upon yourself to interfere in this deep personal family matter, because hey, why not? Then you can deliver this letter to Sapphire and Richter, who will give you the explicit Sapphire as a reward. Here's the thing though, when you get to Richter, this quest has yet another layer of obscurity added to it. And this is due to the fact that Sapphire won't even speak to you about the letter unless you fall into a totally unrelated activity to her in Richter, which involves settling the death of a man called Shafir. If you haven't done this, then you can't even open any dialogue with her at all. So, given the very specific sequence of events that needs to happen, as well as it being a marked objective to begin with, you can see why a hell of a lot of people miss this one. Now, number 9 is a really quick one. It's another unmarked quest objective that leads on from a larger quest. But what's really interesting about this one is that the quest is actually part of the game's main story, making it the best qualified objective to be referred to as hidden in plain sight, at least in my opinion. This is the hidden objective in which you can actually determine all of the other windfall to custom grab and having given it to the players in order to progress the main storyline. There is no prompt whatsoever to do so, and you can't even see the more in your inventory as far as I can. However, if you head back to the Ustun Grab on your own steam, you can indeed return the horn to the very spot in which Dalton pinched it and left you that rather annoying note. And if you do, you'll even be granted a free dragon soul as a reward.
Oof, I've played my dollies. I have 5. Maybe if I go back to Carolina.
Okay, finally we've arrived at number 10, and you'll never know this, right? It's the hardest because that sound ended up being harder than I expected, but I think Lost Bill was one of the most unique teams I've ever ran in the game. And so this is the story of how I built that team and ran. There's only one option for us. That option is this blast right here. I must stick with what I know is right in my heart. We begin our journey. Better to get that straight. Oh, there's always something just fancy and here's available to start of the game. No, they're not. I'm sure you can get the everything already. I know we're not even in these right now. Just I'll let you know for the chat because the car goes. Dude, you can't get an early slot pump. That's the thing. I don't want to use the normal pump that like no intros, no camera. Right on that's what I'm doing. There it is. Yeah. Wow. We got a slug bag. Okay, guys. What might be receivable? Slug bump. Slug bump mail. I would say Big Cargo is up for debate. John is good though. Like John is always good. It's that it has to take a hit for it to go up. But I think like that it's like a super Pokemon that I've already got blast probably on it. Oh, you gotta use some you gotta use some hard skills. Right power also is great. I don't think like where the Pokemon keep it right now, but it's a great one now. We are also still in the okay, yeah, yeah, so what? So what? One like a prime that is one let's get a prime that it doesn't have to be great. You care more about the Pokemon. Yeah, understand that. 2000. It's time for the first challenge, ladies and gentlemen. The Elder of Sprout Tower is an attack. What's the one? Upsetting. Hit the yawn. The new never hit. I know I got you just grabbed. Oh, there's a special split those things goes out way better. Okay. Alright. Oh, and there it is. We get Ember just in time, just as we need the final. Oh, it's the explosive. That's you. Okay, log bot on to you, buddy. Beyond. No.
Back to back, really? Come on, man. Yeah, it's okay. Let's stop. Alright, break time. So that I won't. Slugma is sleeping. The reason she's on the Sigma male grind is that let's go to domination. Let's see what Slugma can do here. Oh, that's right. Oh, and look, it's the same layout still. Yes. Oh, and pretty sure any chat here has clarify that while the first time playing our goals, it has also been a really long time since I've played Gold Silver. There's going to be a whole bunch of moments in this video where I'm like, oh my god, look at that. It's been a long time since I've played, and I forgot how beautiful it was. What is... Oh, you can just skip this. If you're a coward, alright, love my barrel, Gertie for aid, 11. Here we go. A true Slugma male takes on all challenges. A true Slugma male is always in the background. Jesus. 10 steps ahead of you. When you think you're an interceptor, she reveals that all along. It's like this. Yes. Oh, okay. Wow. Slugma just got his first kill. Let's go. Does Walker no longer have Mudshot? Because Bruce is yeah, right? Slugma might actually have a... People were asking about his nature. Quirky, neutral. Okay, it could be worse. Oh, you know we gotta grind for a rock throw on the Slugma name. Level 11. Yeah, good Pokemon already? Oh no, I can't. I don't really know what to expect right now. Oh! Oh! Here we go, man. That looks so good. Wow, I love the sprays. There's the Pidgey. I do think it's a little bit stronger in this game. I'll be with that. Slugma's not even fully healed. Oh, that is... No, we're not playing the game. Yeah! And let's go. I don't think we're going to get away with this, but yeah, thank you for your contribution. Remember, Zemo, you gave your fight. So I'm not allowed to heal. Oh, I think it's not. No, why are you hitting roofs? Is Rage not good anymore? It's not good anymore. It was so good in Tier 2. It's not. That's what happens when you don't prioritize plus up. I just feel like racing my attack there. Oh, there is. Let me show you. Oh. Don't even think about this. That man. That was just still tension, okay? Are you ready to witness the full power of Slugma gaming? No! It's fine, because Slugma did everything it needed to do. Farid could never clear, and then we clear, and then we clear, and then we race. Fine. Oh no! Listen, you can stay there all you want, but Farid's got you now. Oh, no, something before. The roll for Farid. Oh, not luck whatsoever. That was nothing but the power of Slugma. Yeah, I won't lie about it. Other thing I wanted to check was, I forgot about it. Oh, it is thanks on Harper. Not plain body. Arguably the worst ability of all time. Your fire Pokemon can't get frozen. Oh, our next Harper has the next two. Okay. Yeah. Where do I get the egg? Oh my god. I get the heart. Where do I get the heart? Oh yeah! Look at the great line that they added. I love that they did this with those a little more. Because there's some fools like instead of battles, and they are kind of related to legendary, right? Whoa, what? Oh, Rocksu. Wow. Okay. Yeah, Rocksu is not good, but you know, it's pretty lower speed or the opposite rock, so it's pretty nice. Wait, it's really down. Team Rocket, you come back. You find and it's interesting. I seem proud of the comment. I spelled out something. It's so long. Wow, this looks so much better. Oh my god, this is amazing. Like, actually well. Hey, level 6. Why are you level 6? This is number 3, but it's not 4, bro. Walking, speed, moving games, Lawrence, 90. Oh, increase the speed, reduce the special effect. Is that horrifically bad? Right. Try to come on, something decent. Docile. Defense lowers defense. Is that another neutral? Wow. Okay. Water type. Alright, we did. Now it's time for more fights. Oh. What how fast that was. Okay, guys. So this thing performance of one upgrade. It's one I'm gonna like destroy my seat. Not even worried. I think that's everyone. Okay, level 12. Not bad. Yeah. Okay. Hope for the best and pray for the best. Two. Number 50. Cypher. We didn't lead with the slug. With the stick of water gun. Oh, okay. I can handle that. And that would not be much damage to me before. That's kind of probably we want full health. Level 15 is much better than this thing. Cypher comes back out, this energy, it's gonna soften me up, and we're gonna go get me. You coward. Alright folks, see what's it gonna be? I'm going for it. Either way we're chilling. And there we go. This is one cookie right here. Oh, you didn't see that. Oh, you didn't see that. That's so awkward. Oh my god. Look, no. It's you happened more time. It's fine, guys. Okay, we're fine. Everything's fine. Water's getting a scyther. Okay. Ow. Another twin, dude. I guess it's the focus energy. I don't know. Maybe we throw, but like, I don't think it matters. Yeah. Well, maybe we try the rival first. Let's see how good you are, buddy. I'm gonna go for the yawn here. We got on the that's manageable. We're making it work. Okay. It's fun using these Pokemon though, because I don't know, I feel like you really appreciate them. Nice. That's probably gonna be what you get the cool last time more than oh, wait, did it? What is going to give us a win against us? What an improvement from its Gen 2 spray. I actually like Crocodile. It's Gen 4. It's Gen 2 spray so much though. Round 2. Oh my god. Guys, we just can't win this. Another crit. Of course, another crit. And that's the thing. I could just go get an Onyx, and it would be getting a ton of XP. And then I can try to just Felix, and that's even a singing Pokemon. Like, you know what? You mean Felix and our goals, but instead I'm just out here with a Slugma. Hello, I have come with my head held low in shame because I cannot beat Bugsy and I need a Rocky. Rocky. Hi there, great to have back once again. You're probably thinking, wait, Onyx is a Pokemon that's not used by many players in our full playthrough? Sure, Onyx is not going to know it's not a common Pokemon for a full playthrough, but I would argue that because Felix is afraid of losing the super uncommon. Onyx is done with the embarrassing era. Is our goal before getting dropped, but still it does nothing because it's afraid of it. It's very easy to activate. Use it, and so my reasoning was that you're going to want to take it easy. Knowing that goal actually is another skill type, you're going to have to keep walking the clock. I've come back, thankfully with an Onyx sector. Hello, once again, I'm just going for the rock throw here. I'm not even going to bother with the streak because he's probably just going to do some shenanigans and back out. Wow, amazing. Let's play Scyther. Okay. Am I proud? No. Bro, my Onyx is plus 5 defense. Oh my god. That's nice. Okay, anyway, talk to me right now. As I said from the start, you cannot stand up to the power of Slugma. I mean, yeah, Slugma, that's the case. Guys, we did it! You're an expert, by the way. We have made this Goldenrod City. They added some really good TM to the Goldenrod department, which is kind of crazy. Because you use the same info, use the same art stuff. Platinum, you've got Soul, you've got Focus, this or something. You've got Thunder, you've got Fireball, you've got Focus. Those are like strongest moves in the game. Now we can pick out Fire Blast, Phase, well, pick out Blizzard, I guess. God, it only has 5. But Slugma, if Slugma has any chance of keeping up at all, it is going to be through the help of a 100 whatever, give me Fire Boss. 85 accuracy. Fire Boss is not okay, that's the first thing. We'll do these trainers before we take on 50, try to get up to a I think it's like 21 now or so. Wow, I love that this guy has been updated and now he's like, yes. National Park is always good so hard. Take a breath. You know, you just deep breath, national park. I'll literally just pick up Kenny right now as like a tax flyer for him. It's time for a win. Maybe it's not part of the team, it's just like a free pickup that'll be or Pokemon, fodder, and silver, or whatever. The fact that it comes to level 20 in this game genuinely makes it like one of the best Pokemon in the game. Let's let Slugma deal with Fairy, and let's full send it. With the gaming, ladies and gentlemen, let's just go for the Fire Blast. Slugma, show me what you got, buddy. Stat Fire Blast. Dude, Slugma is not a yet. We've won the Super Bubble, and one more on the blast. Dude, I am going to go for a yawn. Ow, this is going to hurt a lot. I forgot about it a lot. So this one leads to what? The Lump Area, and then we just go for a Fire Blast and hope for a Fire Blast. Probably just going to be but oh my god, yeah. But hopefully, we plus up with the Fairy. I guess we can go for another yawn. Oh, we can start with them. True. Even a level 1 though to be has used apparently. Never mind. What was I thinking? I was like, I'm gonna pause station now. It's fine, it's fine. We have other stat low rank connectors.
Who will play with party? York or Moser?
Right?
Probably York.
Super Potion is plus. It's still no strength, but I think we got this today. Oh, it's just Super Potion. That's annoying, but it doesn't really make a difference. And that's it. Even if you woke up and you don't do it, fine. You just probably here, or probably not. Yeah. All in all, the fact that the whole thing is here so far, the second wiki is insane. I lost all journey about to get. I got wiki on the first try, I guess. I guess it's just one of Fire Blast now, like kind of unironically. That was kind of fair enough, because it completely blends the fairy and then allowed us to get the setup on the it's Caesar, super basic kit, or a super cool unique kit. Like Caesar's unique airdrop was basic. Yeah, like the fact that it's straight ego does mean a lot of people don't get it. So like most people aren't getting Caesar until Canada. I think Caesar is now also not insane for only for okay, level 14. That's probably the lower attack, but that's not too bad. Hey, okay. It's too good to see a plan starting to come together. Oh god. We have to make sure to technician down. Okay, Onyx, thank you for your contribution. Wait, chat's going off right now. Bro, don't tell me. Oh, it's the only nature I have locked in because it's such a good nature for so many Pokemon. Plus attack, minus special attack. It has technician. This run has been turned around. Oh my god, dude. The best possible ability it can possibly get. We are now winning. That is a top percentage flat right there. So we have U-turn. So, man. Yeah, U-turn. It's gonna go hard. Maybe I just keep digging for alligator. Because it's 80 power now. And it kind of gets level up where you go to this now. Later. Oh, Pursuit is better too. Right. The Pursuit is normally it's a 60 power missile. That's nice. Yeah, and wing attack is 90 power. Now, the Rock Smash still sucks because it's still 20 power, 40 base power. That's like not terrible right there. You can afford to like slowly getting really excited about this game. It's just taking a lot of work. Oh. Hey man, like cars, yeah, like one other life. Doesn't matter. I don't even know. We'll see about it. I make coffee runs. I make it through a coffee that's different basins, ailments, sharks, yeah, laundry. That's what I make in this game. Oh, that's a good sign. For the sporting fight. Right. I don't count the rival fight as a game, the major fight. Yeah. I don't know, man. Yeah. Probably not gonna kill, but a stab with the 10 Fireblock should feel damage. But from a Slugma, it's impressive. Alright, well, Rival, I gotta be honest, that was pretty easy. Okay, you might really good. Oh, it really be like that, huh? Alright, and say, yeah, I see, dude. This is not just a road girl performance that I remember. Yeah, dude, it's just like straight up harassing her. Oh my god, he has a level 12 costume. What? Oh, that's all you have to do. That doesn't really give me the experience I was hoping to get from 40, but I'll take it, and just like that. You ever heard of power spikes yet? Because guess what? We call them third type blow up. Whoa. I don't remember this at all, and it's really cool for Tika, but what I'm crazy is or like no fall. I don't even know what it's taking our head, but it has the power of physical presence, but it's probably shadow ball and horror. That's really difficult to do. I'm thinking we can get this dude out in one shot. Although wing attack would have more damage. Getting the super effective feels better. Game guard comes into the pool, probably going to put me to sleep, but he goes for a sucker. Kind of surprising, actually. Wing attack does overact. Now, this is the big theory, like 130 specials down, that's got to kill us. Hold on, and he kind of suckered himself. I'm expecting a heal here. Yeah, we get one more wing attack on. I propose to end this very fun, very friend. Cypher, amazing conversation. You're lovely. We're gonna go with a strong kind of an animal. I think a fight is doing it. Surely a shadow ball is almost like, God, dude. Oh, no. Big kill. I guess I should be on the board there. I did not think it was gonna be that much damage. I really don't think someone's got this. Bro, is this coming down to our random Kenya? There once again. Look, Kenya's not a rare Pokemon. It's probably one of the most used Pokemon in the game. The only reason that I just have to get those is for Pokemon like Switch 1. It's kind of stayed on the Switch for a little bit. And in retrospect, I probably should here. And in reality, I could have just evolved my Pokemon a lot sooner. Foreshadowing. So this one's on me. I'm sorry. You just want to imagine in your head that this is a Pokemon thing. I think we'll all have a much better than this. No, it does have hypnosis thing. You're going to suffer. Or massive. Okay. Wow. Wow, guys. The only gym that we haven't taken out first try is this. Damn, that's brutal. Yeah, I think we just need a few levels. We're just like 3 levels under us. It's actually the difference. It's you, moments later. Here we go. He hit the last. He's on the street. Wing attack. We go for a wing attack. And he hits oh my god, bro. Okay, it's not over. Check this out. We'll be out here. There's the crit. We pray for the mean look or hypnosis miss. Dude, boy, you just threw. Attack. Stage is lower. You have to. Dude, why do you have a level 1 focus? It's for this moment right here. He misses again. Oh my god, he's throwing so hard. Can we get the first? Oh, dude. The base he takes the field. It's a cheeky. -6 attack on Gengar. We swap. Oh, wait, I can't actually swap. Sorry, no, you're going to have to swap. Oh, I can go for extra. Dude, get him. Get him. Big crit. Let's go to the what is happening? Why is he using Thunder Punch? Okay, there we go. Okay, fair enough. -6 in Kenya. Guess what? He can only Sucker Punch. Pursue, super effective. Okay, look at him here. Oh my god, this is growing. Another clear. There we go. The hypnosis speed, bro. He's so committed. That's -2 defense, -6 attack. What is Sucker Punch? Nothing. Joel, dude, that's it. Oh my god. Hyper potion? Okay, it's over. You can prolong it, but you're not beating me. Oh, yeah. You monster. Take down like Kenyan Pharaoh and a level 1 Philippine. As for monster, I'm just gonna go for a leader. Fair enough. Yeah, I think it's just a fight here. Oh, nice. Curse. Okay, it's level 23. Oh my god, we're good. I'm thinking off. Listen, that's a good fight, man. That is actually so crazy. That Togepi, a level 1 Togepi was was the key to winning that. Oh my god, man, that's so impressive. I got a shout off for locating all Vine City. I hate the week. Is here for strength. Wow, all of my cafe actually sounds like a vibe. I would go to all of my cafe at a party. You don't give me strength anymore? Oh god. This guy's gonna give me strength? Let's go. Okay. So that's everything we need to go to Slowpoke level. This guy is going to give us a super draw. We now have the one, the only, the iconic Slowpoke. How many people do you know using a Slowpoke in Cardinal Sources? Slowpoke is female. This is for later. So if you're watching on YouTube, you're going to have to keep watching to know what that's for.
What I would call that is always ready to go. He's powered up to what's ahead, and that's at a confidence to go the distance. Keep lights moving, and they
At the work of my husband, we're introduced on a number of new tools that are illustrating and structured this. In this video, we're going to do the 9 series with users that did not follow the
Yeah, there's like 1% level 50 magic cards there. So actually, my level 26 sludge would just totally block every other encounter in there, and I could just repel. Here, you know what? It's repel. It's like, oh, we're not finding anything. I guess there's nothing in here. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only level 50 magic card. Fourth tip. How much HP does this? How much damage does this do? Not very much. I don't know if this will work. I guess it's still just a magic card. The level doesn't matter, right? And so, if you ever wanted to, this is how you make Carcoastal Silver free. Oh. Oh, wow. Well, that's my Gyarados done. Am I right? When you get the red tail, that's the iconic. Oh, there's no like. Oh, I missed one. Yeah, I'm so excited to learn little to no experience for the next few hours. The lack of care for the level curve in this game, it just destroys every other beautiful aspect of this game. The love and care, the vibe, the following Pokemon. There's so much done well in this game, and there was just a blatant disregard for the level curve in the mid-game. That is one step towards. Should we take a sim on that, or should we wait? I don't know if the Thugma is ready to be a bullet. Oh wow! Oh my gosh, wow! What a takedown! Wow! Look at these levels. Why is he really so bad then? So before we can take on Price, we definitely want to get Pikachu. That keeps us from being weak to Price being super effective. We're going to get we've gone ahead, and we've got a Compound Eyes Venonat. Now this is for you can't write this. That was a 4% chance counter right there. That hasn't happened. Daylight robbery, baby. Next step, Secret Metal Coast. Just as we did with Florence, we give the trade items instead. We receive a trade, and ladies and gentlemen, after a quick trade, there we have it. The one and only Caesar. Look at that dude. Like, oh my god, what an absolute menace. Whoa. Elf, White House. Whoa, this is different. Whoa, you can just skip all that? Oh, okay. That was so valid. I was like, that seems a little OP. Oh, crunch. Dude, they really gave the man everything he needed. We're also out of PT, and look at that. We get all the PT we need. Well, let's go. What a specimen. There we go. Hey there, Ampy. Hey, Jasmine. He's so into his training, he doesn't seem to notice you. Yes. Waterboarding. My favorite training race. Honestly, I feel like we're probably just going to be able to solo him. Because it is Chuck after all. The poor guy has I don't know what his new moveset is, and I'm hoping that is better than that. It's not a comforting open for him. Yeah, okay. Okay. Oh, that is actually new. I do not think he has Rock Slide in Gen 2. That's awesome. Good for you. Okay, so that's one. And actually, I don't think we're going to be able to solo him with just looking. So that's great, actually. I'm quite happy about that. Will we die here? Maybe. Not quite. It was a roll, though. I think he definitely saw the role to kill and went for it. We swapped to the Caesar. Well, sleep. Oh, yes. How could I forget wing attack? I just swapped in to take the hit, expecting a body slam. As it turns out, we also have flying cover. So, Chuck, it's been real. Wish I could say I respect you, but you got these Pokemon, and we'll see you next time, buddy. Oh, he's going to give us fly? Yeah. I'm going to go right on Kenya. We're straight in the front. What possibly could this late game ice specialist get up to? I'm sure he's going to be really dynamic and have a lot of unique Pokemon and not a pure water type, unevolved. He is, after all, chronologically the 6th gym leader of this game. So I, for one, have very high expectations of his performance. Blizzard does have 100% accuracy now. Actually, that's super weird. Why would he bring up Pilot Sweat? There's no way he has a grass or electric mode. So I'm just going to serve him. Like Earthquake or Blizzard, right? Like that's all it could be. Mudball. Oh god. He doesn't even have Earthquake, he has Mudball. I guess he only saw a neutral damage off of Mudball and Sugong had nothing. This is a water Pokemon, and I have now killed his ace and lead Pokemon. I don't know about this thing because it's going to be pretty bulky. It's probably going to rest on me a lot, but it only has Aurora Beam. The tension right now is palpable. I don't even think that's the right word to use. He got a crit. Are you going to heal? He's probably going to use a Hyper Potion. He doesn't use a Hyper Potion. Is it a kill? It is. That's tough, man. I didn't even have to bring out the Slugminator. I just sweeped him with my water type shot. Cool. The question we now have to ask ourselves is he good? Oh! Right! Yes! Turn your face. Stop. Why would you... What is the point of this? Why are you adding people here? Pretend like they're junior trainers. You plot them in the lighthouse. Okay, sick. Weird. We're going to turn your lizard fights around. Level 30. I'm going to still go for a fire bomb. Yeah, Thunderbolt is probably going to do a lot of damage, which is a skill. Wow. I was surprised it's on there. That's a 7 kill. Excellent work, Slugma. You prove your value once again. Slugma of Felix. I think Felix has 30 speed, so probably not. Fair enough. Would be hilarious. Slugma did his job, okay? Slugma is not the MVP of this shit, because apparently it is once again for Alligator, who gets treated as special attacker. No sir, what do you? Yeah, putting out more than like that, but I would give for that. There's the hyper. Probably not going to get this. 25.
Who is my top line? It's Pencil Training Samo.
More badges.
And then my second line will be Pop Pilsen, Fullander.
I just want to say that as a Johto fanboy, I'm sorry about this. I just don't know anyone that ever loses down. I don't know anyone that ever loses Prime. Like, I actually think Josh Johnson is the hardest because he is like it's 500%. Now, guys, it's time for the really hard section of our goal. Watch out. Dude, they took the time to add this. All those blanks will be charming, but you have to find level 24 Raticate. One of the best tank fight in all of Johto. You know who it is. The most easy Pokemon trainer in the series. Because unlike most trainers, this guy actually directly back to having 6 Pokemon is very smart. And what does this man run? Like, he literally coughing. Rather than thinking, wow, okay, I'm next to all what could be next? Second Pokemon is weak, which clearly is weak. But they close this draft. Look at that out loud. Awesome. It's fine. I definitely did not need the experience. What's the third Pokemon? Anyway, oh, we actually revived him. You got an evil. Okay, didn't know that. Seems like it was a really hard counter. I'm probably gonna roast Steve, but I'm just gonna go to Blizzard. Oh, Pedal Dance! Wow, that's sick! Oh my god, the Gadian actually hits. Dude, I didn't know this. What? The Gadian gets Pedal Dance instead 4. That's amazing! Dude, this is like actually such a serious fight. Oh my god, I'm so happy right now. Like, this is so much better than the last 3 years later. Even if you come like 100 levels down, it's Slugma Sunday. Oh, it's Slugma Sunday is over because it's actually big. I feel like my only other option is like Mercury or Buckman. based on like what's available on the right level. Also, wow, holy smokes, man! It kind of just snakes around. Lethal Instinct, unfortunately, does not evolve, so it's kind of bad. Next time you leave the rock center. We have been through rocket help, and it's time to do stuff. Get it? Yeah. Dude, this thing is every time. Like that's the wow! What's my alligator? Let's go. I love getting the thing. Yeah. Anyway, this is an interesting choice. This is a really, really interesting choice, Patrick. We're gonna see how this one plays off. I used to want people a bit more experienced, but like stupid. But yeah, it would have been cool if they gave a longer. But honestly, I'm just happy to see like a fight test competition. Where are we? This is crazy, dude. What is going on? Here we go, Arthur. No, David! Why would you be so faithful to the original? What did you do for the plot? Get the opposite of the Rodney goals. You want to evolve under-level Pokemon and get an over-level unevolved Pokemon. I'm gonna probably lose. Actually, I forgot that my entire team is like dead, but well, I'm actually really excited. It's all over. I'm actually so pissed. Oh my god, you didn't even kill me because you're not evolved. Stab 4 times super effective. Hit destroy it. Out. That's a good level. That's a great level. Alright. This is terrifying. Level 38 Avenue is terrifying.
A little bit of body back. That's the start, right? Getting confident with the weight and the consequence I the little weights, the sweeter you fall, the more often you say that. And the faster you'll get back, a good night's sleep.
When death got you, you've got us.
Alright. This is the first time I've held tension in a while. I'm not in this fight. Oh yeah, that was a big Thorin, wasn't it? If Thorin saved me again, probably yeah. Unevolved. Well, special. Let's go. Oh, triple wing. Alright guys, tell me the truth. Non-nature. No slow. Increased attack, reduced special effects. Honestly, I'll take the up attack. That's pretty good. We're gonna get wrecked by water, but it is what it is. God, I'm doing it with one rare anti I kicked him out. It is such a journey. Oh my god, love. That's like 100% in your move, right? This is my dog right here. The absolute grind for this man. Run at the level 1 baby slug. And it's now level 30. The grind of a lifetime. It should have all been like level 24. Oh my god. It finally has got a chapter. Look at that. Man, I had less learn but still that Pokemon. And we're finally meeting 4 times to both water and ground. But just check this out, okay? 100% accurate, smooth, unfortunately, and ladies and gentlemen, this truly has been the run with our goal. We are rebringing to power, and now we can back here. Yes, we then level pilot plan, and that's all it takes. This is crazy. I've never seen this thing before. I've never had one of these things before. It's actually got crazy stats. It's got crazy moves. Probably one of the best additions in the temple remake. This dude right here. 118 attack. Enough speed to outspeed Dragonite. Well, guys, it's time to see what this man can do. Whoa. Easily the biggest blow up in the game. Oh my god. Don't even do a work around. Nice. It was worth the effort. Like up there, we are a real attitude leader here. Not some like, I'm good at Pokemon battles. I do battle on it's oh, dude, one time team against Dragon Rage is actually so tragic. One more level. Damn, I don't think we're gonna win this guy. Oh, there is Thunder in the department store, actually. That's probably like, we already lost, I'm pretty sure. That's where we attack. I think that's, oh, that's the rough man. Got it. Brutal. Yeah. Come on. People are going to be like, oh, bro, I can't believe you lost. That was, let's just try. Let's just try. I don't even have a full I did zero setup. I just went in. We're going to pick up Thunder. We're going to pick up Blizzard. Does anything get Thunder? Actually, to the job. Oh, okay. I'm just going to need to get a 6-party number, I guess. We have one Pokemon in our party that could do with Gyarados. We caught a level 50 Magikarp. This is legit. It's a thing of games. And I just thought, hey, I have this weird candy sitting around. The big point here I want to make is just going on things. Just for the clear plan, we're using easy Pokemon. But how unique and how scared is the level 50 Gyarados and Arceus system? It's pretty dumb. It's like one level, so I think it's fair to at least let it have let it show me once in this game. And what better spot than against another Gyarados? Yeah, new, rare, super underrepresented Pokemon. Just wanted to get that in. Okay, that's it. That's all this thing is for. Celebrity appearance. Won't use it again. But you kind of had to show it off. If we caught it, and included it in the video, it's to not use it, right? Check off gun or something like that. So we're just going to splash those. Excellent. Okay, so we go to this guy, and now we can. But that's the thing, you're like, dude, you're a bit under level. It's like, no, this is how it's grinded. Like, all of my Pokemon were like 4 levels lower. So we're going to go Forest. The Hydro Pump is nothing.
Oh my god, fuck yes!
So, really what I want to do is go...
Awesome! I will take that!
Exactly what we get. It's going to fall... I actually wish I had died there, because I want to bring in these orders to start lowering into that. Okay. So, first rock smash, not like, keep your weight stuff after 6 turns, because we can't have next night. So it's going to do over half for sure. Okay. Can we at least get 1 defense drop? Beautiful. Okay. Or else I want to keep your dead. Can you please slow roll? Okay, that's great damage. She's going to be like, and then the thing, she still has a heal on this thing, and she might have to heal. Good chance to get to the right here somewhere. Oh, she misses the Hydro Pump and die. Oh my god, that's so lucky. Because she could have killed with anything, she just was like randomly selected moves and Hydro Pump with them. So it was like a 50% chance to get Hydro Pump there, and then a 20% chance to miss. No, 10% chance right there. Now we can see what she might say. And better kill? Not right. Oh, it didn't matter. Oh, she goes to the full restore. Now I just need it. I say. Yeah. That was very, very fortunate. I don't think we would have done it otherwise, but dude, I don't know how you could say that that fight is easier than with in real Gyarados. Thank you for your contribution. Oh, that was so sick. Wow, is this like a cool game now? Wow, this place looks so much cooler than the thing. Violence. Well, I think I have a rainbow wing. Let's just go to Edward. Do I have a master ball? I do have the master ball. Excellent. In order to bring that home, we hit someone with the right wand to focus. There's a puppeteer throwing everything. Okay, level 38. That's very solid. And I assume this is back to back, so it's going to be kind of tough. I agree that this is like the best thing that our Cultural Silver has. It's like a storyline with the Pokemon girls. That's one down. Also, some probably must be experience before the E4. Alright, here we go. Flareon time. The turn is the legit Homunculus. That's cool. I can see why. Everybody's leaving, and we're gonna follow them. Wow, this is so good, dude. You know what I mean? Like, I know.
Instruments? We know you got that idea for your business. Like the one that nails the freak show. Levels up your burner.
All right, I'm here. Are we ready to do this?
Not yet, Joe hasn't joined us.
No point. It's only 11 in the morning and his sleepy ass isn't even awake yet. Well, shit.
Hey guys, sorry I'm late. Joe was making me a sandwich. What's up?
Gentlemen, we're going to rank the Resident Evil games.
Whoa, there's a lot of them. I'm not sure I have the time.
Are we pushing into your nap time there, Sleepy Joe?
No, I have a country to run, you idiot. Plus, it's not noon yet.
Guys, it'll be fine. We'll just do the core ones for now. Any of them with a number should suffice.
Okay, good.
I'm okay with that for the sake of time, but you better include Code Veronica.
That goes without saying.
Code V was my shit back in my PS2 days.
Obviously, now let's get started.
Hold on a second. We're starting in order of release date, right?
Do you remember that far back?
Fuck you, Donald.
Yes, we'll start with the OG 1996 Resident Evil, a masterpiece.
18. The Godfather of Survival Horror.
I agree.
Now hold on.
What?
Yeah.
With the original? Why?
Take your nostalgia glasses off for a second. The dialogue is straight trash. Even earning a spot in the Guinness Book for worst video game dialogue back in 2002, we can still hold to this day.
It wasn't that bad.
Of course you think that. Is the writer the same one who jots down all your speeches?
Keep my presidential ass, Donald.
The dialogue did kill the immersion, okay. But the gameplay was still atmospheric and spooky.
The gameplay was an Ohio train wreck. Funky controls and tight corridors is like moving a bridge through a hallway.
Fine, for the sake of time, we'll split the difference and put it down to B tier and move on.
Piece of bullshit. I don't like it.
Still too high.
Next up is 1998's Resident Evil 2.
Here we go. A tier for sure.
I'm pretty sure we can all agree.
I would even say S tier. It was really a well-rounded sequel. Top.
For once, I agree with Sleepy Joe. It took all the good things from the first one, what little there was,
Goddamn it.
inclusion, dialogue, gameplay, atmosphere.
Even having the story split into two different parts with multiple endings.
I did get confused with which ending was canon, though.
It doesn't take much to confuse you, Joe.
Fuck off, Orange Slice.
Okay, then I'm moving it to S tier.
Cool. Fine by me.
Moving on to 1999, Resident Evil Nemesis.
So Pencil is my first one,
Our
center.
game, a year later, Capcom releases a straight-up banger. They were on fire. An entire city to run around with zombies everywhere. Screams echoing.
This Kershaw could be my second line center.
Nemesis was a scary mofo, too.
You didn't pay third.
Scripted, unlike Mr. X from RE2.
No cap. The big fucker carried a rocket launcher in the street like it was nothing.
Well, Jerry can play second line. So I don't know yet. I'll wait until I sit through the season.
And the dodge mechanic made the game's combat slightly easier, making it not as tense.
Jill Valentine is an elite cop with a certain set of skills. Of course, she can able to dodge whenever she wanted.
I'll agree that the past shooting was a little stale.
Fine, 8 years in.
Yeah, hey.
Good, now the 2001 plays go on.
Fuck yes, Claire, that can action in her own game. I spent hours on this gem.
And we're finally out of Raccoon City.
Rockford Island is a good setting with half of it in a prison, and the other half in Gothic architecture. All on an island to give you a feeling of isolation.
The PS2's graphics did wonders for the cinematics in this game. And seeing Lester fight with his new power, I screamed.
Fucking sick.
Gross.
Whatever, the man's an icon.
Got his ass beat by a mutant woman.
Bruce.
Fake news, you sleepy fuck. He did a tactical withdrawal. The man is a supreme strategist.
Look, I'll admit that it was a graphical improvement at the time, but did you forget about those shitty, stretchy arm fucks that would give you off screen?
Oh, right, I forgot about those.
It also has one of the weirdest characters in the series.
It's 2023, Joe. You can't call Alfred Ashford weird anymore.
Not him. Steve Burnside.
What about him?
This edgy motherfucker was constantly a hindrance to Claire, giving her attitude in almost every scene. He had more emotional baggage than Donnie did after losing the Oval Office.
Fuck you, Joe. That shit was great, and Steve was crushed about his dad.
Oh, you mean this?
Father! Father!
Cringe.
Sorry, Donnie, but I got to side with Joe on this.
Bullshit!
The graphics and gameplay were great, and the new location is a breath of fresh air. But with the cringiest character in the series, I'll put it in the B tier.
Alongside that Roblox-looking motherfucker, you gotta be kidding me.
Deal with it, bitch. Take the L.
Moving on, we're back up to hitting some high tier ones here, starting with 2002's R&B remake.
Hit the list.
Facts.
What? You shitted on the OG.
Stop crying, baby Joe, and listen. They took what was garbage about the original and made it better. Graphics, gameplay, and environment. They not only redid the dialogue and improved it, but also added the Crimson Head zombie to avoid being a stale-ass piece of shit.
Those things make me shit my pants.
No, that was the old lady.
Shut the fuck up, Orange Man. Lock yourself in a tanning bed somewhere.
I have to agree with John on this one, Joe. The graphics alone are enough to put it into S tier. Added with the new defensive weapons and recent Rebel mini-boss, this game did the OG respect.
George Trevor was a great architect. I could have used a man like him to build my wall.
So we agree it's S tier.
Yes.
Of course, it's good. Moving on to another golden one, Resident Evil 0.
Barry, I agree that it has the same appeal as the remake, but you cannot convince me that it is anywhere near as good. All the bosses are just jacked up animals and a reused asset for tyrants. Don't even get me started on this fucking opera singer and his leeches. Hot garbage.
It was still a good prequel to the OG.
Trash.
The predates didn't make any sense.
How the fuck does a slutty in the size of flatbed truck jump on top of the train moving that fast? And how many times do we have to save Rebecca?
Shut the fuck up, you rug-wearing bitch. I won't have you bad-mouthing Rebecca. She's top tier for me.
I don't think he was that bad of a character.
Isn't she a little too old for you, Sleepy Joe?
Fuck off.
Rebecca Chambers is the most underrated character in the whole series. She's the first to come across and defeat a tyrant by herself. She survived both the research facility and mansion incident, all while being the youngest of the elite sergeant. She even helped save the world from the generals.
Barry, we aren't talking about any of those shitty movies. Stick to the game. Besides, Stingy McCombie admitted that he liked Chambers the least out of all his female characters. He never even wanted to add her to the game.
He did it here, and that's the lowest I'll put it. Fight me.
Fine, whatever. Let's move on. We're barely halfway.
Next up is the GOAT 2005 Resident Evil 4.
Truth, no lie.
Pump the brakes there, guys.
The fuck?
Joe, you gotta be kidding me. We're talking about Resident Evil fucking 4.
Is he awake? Did he take his meds?
Fuck you guys, I know what I'm saying. You both need to stop riding Ford's bandwagon. This was a glorified escort quest with horror taking a backseat to action.
Fuck you, Joe. It revolutionized not only the series, but the entire video game industry. The over-the-shoulder third-person gameplay rocked every company to the core, mixing it with action, suspense, and horror in a perfect blend. They even fixed the inventory system.
Even the creators of Dead Space said they redid their entire game to model it after the way RE4 was made.
They took out the zombies in the Resident Evil game and replaced them with parasites. This is the game that popularized quick-time events in the gaming industry. The story was trash. Sadler wants to inject Ashley with the parasite and let her go back to America, but then tries to stop them from leaving over and over again. Krauser's side story was shit, and need I mention his story again? Take her back up from the remake. Fuck me, Jello. And Steve from Code V.
Go snip some more hair, you sleepy fuck.
And you get Ashley Graham. She was annoying as fucking hard to protect.
Still, it can get better, you old codger.
I agree, sounds like a new problem. The game is phenomenal from start to finish and has even ported more times than Skyrim. It goes with this. Obvious.
I'll concede to A tier, or else I'm dropping out and playing Minecraft with Bill.
Fine, let baby have his father.
I don't like it, but whatever. We need to get this done, so up next is 2009's Resident Evil 5.
I don't think you need to say the year anymore, Barry. Some of us can remember back then.
Get yourself some better wigs and come back, Orange Man. Anyways, another co-op, but this time set in the daytime. And the shitty inventory system is back, but made even worse somehow.
I'm inclined to agree. This one kind of flopped with me.
Really, Barry? I thought with the location, well, you know,
What?
never mind.
Get your brain checked on. It seems like you're huffing some of that spray tan you keep blasting yourself with.
Shut up, Joe. At least I can walk up a simple flight of stairs.
I told you I was tired of this.
Anyways, I agree. This game was a huge letdown. It seemed that Capcom was trying to make lightning strike twice with this one and failed. They even reused the chainsaw mini-boss. The only saving grace was my boy Webster coming in again. Him teleporting like Nightcrawler made me spew everywhere, though.
Fucking stop saying shit like that, but I can't lie. His theme song and fight scenes were lit as fuck. Too bad it was bogged down by quick time events.
Yeah, thanks, RE4.
Shut up with that. Plus his master plan, literal chef's kiss.
You would like that. Fat fuck.
He lost to a rock-punching jarhead.
Yet again, fake news. He dunked at the last second and will return once again. You guys just didn't notice because you don't have great eyesight like I do. I have the best eyesight, probably in the world.
Okay, then any objections if I put it into C tier?
Nope, he's there.
Okay, done. Now on to Resident Evil 6. Ooh, this one.
Oh, right, I keep forgetting this one happened.
Not too surprised, Sleepy Joe. It's a miracle you know what year it is.
It's one where I'm still president, you green stain.
Gentlemen, focus. I think we can be unanimous in this one, right? The horror aspect was completely thrown out the window for a more action-oriented game.
I have to agree with you on that, Barry. As much as I love action in the Second Amendment, this was too much. Too many campaigns, an excess of quick-time events, and don't get me started on Jake. If they wanted to do the Western, why not just stick with the man himself? But that's fine, he'll be back.
Donnie, you're delusional.
Eat me, bitch.
Joe, you haven't said much.
Call Jill, see if he fell asleep at the keyboard again.
I'm awake, you idiot.
Well, what's the name of this film?
On what?
Jesus Christ.
On RE6.
Oh, right. To be honest with you guys, I don't really remember that one. I never could get past the train part on the Leon's campaign.
Jesus, Joe, are you serious? That's in the first hour of the game.
I told you the QTEs are garbage. Fuck off.
That's sad.
It better say
But whatever, goes into the tier.
I'm okay with that.
Thanks.
All right, guys, now for another Jeff, Resident Evil 7.
Now this one I remember.
Huh.
I have to admit that the sudden shift from the first person wasn't too bad of a switch for me. Plus, playing a normal person looking for his wife instead of being a cop or specialist of any kind was a nice change.
Did it remind you of all the times you had to look for your wife when you get lost wandering around in the White House, you geriatric kids?
At least I'm still in it, fuck not.
Focus, guys. RE7 was the first game to use the iconic RE engine. It did a full 180, switching out the action for complete horror and suspense, which was the jolt that was needed to bring this series back to life. Truly a bank.
Unlike someone's idea for a healthcare plan.
Fuck you, Donald.
I agree, going back to its roots.
I still wish that they'd keep zombies in the series. Not sure I like the mold, or whatever it is. It had a nice twist ending, though. And Jack Baker is seriously one of the most terrifying villains in the series.
That's definitely a solid A tier.
Agreed.
High A of the league.
Okay, good. High A. Let's move on to another great installment that I don't think anyone saw coming, the Resident Evil 2 remake.
Holy shit, here we go. A game that would have won Game of the Year if Sekiro didn't come out that same year.
Not gonna lie, this one was fun all around. Mixing the best parts of 4 and 7, but keeping it mostly about the horror was nothing short of genius. And Mr. X stalking you in the RPD randomly brought out 99 Nemesis 5s.
Joe, you senile old man, did you forget 5 minutes ago? You don't get to shit all over the floor and then use its assets whenever you want, you waffling fuck.
I can say whatever I want as the president. This is what 4 should have been. Emphasis on the horror and no QTE. They brought back the zombies, too, along with the added gore whenever you shoot them.
Seeing a zombie stay shredded to pieces was especially satisfying.
Hopefully it's what we'll get with the new remake coming out.
I think we can all agree it's an S tier product.
I can live with that.
Same here.
Good, almost done, guys. Let's talk about the Resident Evil 3 remake.
Jesus Christ, way to fumble on the 5-yard line, Capcom. You were so close to a perfect game, but you had to trip along the way. D tier, no question.
I'm with Johnny on this one. It didn't have the impact that the second remake did. Plus, it was way too short.
Now, hold on, guys. It wasn't that bad. Let's give it a chance.
Barry, have you lost your mind? The removal of the graveyard and the clock tower. Adding that shitty resistance game that's irrelevant now. And don't get me started on what they did to Nemesis.
Hit him dirty like a dog.
Turn him into a dog, too. What the shit was that?
Look, the atmosphere was spot on, and even though they kept the dodge mechanic, they at least got rid of that choice system.
Nemi is running around in hefty trash bags with a busted nose. He literally Kool-Aid mans his way into Jill's apartment the moment the game starts. And he never stops to give the player a break. They did the boy filthy, Barry.
At least they gave more attention to colors.
Not enough.
Man needs a haircut, looking like a hippie.
E tier.
B. It had better potential than 6, guys. I'll concede the low C.
Barry, for Christ's sake, they didn't even put mercenaries in it.
Checkmate, bitch.
Fine. All right, fine. D tier, and I hate you both.
We spit the truth. Now let's finish this already.
Okay, the last one is Resident Evil Village.
A tier. Final answer.
Bullshit. They took out the zombies once more and replaced them with fucking werewolves and pseudo-vampires made of flies and fat sick.
You only had it that high because you wanted to clap Lady Beast. Don't lie.
Obviously, who's going to doubt that?
Joke's on you, she's only in the first 2 hours of the game.
A true crime, I agree, but let's be real about this. The only scary part was the giant fetus boss, and it was only done because of some hallucinogenic flowers. Before and after that was a complete cakewalk.
So the gameplay is still top tier and exciting. Finding treasures and exchanging goods with the new brings back the old feeling of 4 easily.
He could literally use the tank with infinite ammo, cancel his ship.
I think you need a true American, something you wouldn't know anything about.
It's literally trying to be a Buxton, having known he was a multi-dead guy the entire time. Disgusting.
Is that not the same as what your wife does with your Sticky Joe, you ancient piece of shit?
Go get showered on again, you bag of Cheeto dust.
It goes down on beats here, Donovan. That's that. You can't keep riding the hype on this one.
Fuck you both in this list. It looks like dog shit anyway. I'm out of here. What a complete waste of my time.
They'll probably want to recount in a couple days.
If you want to play some DVD, I need to get more boring cells to get a good killer.
Nah, I got the wrong off. It's almost noon and I'm getting tired. See you.
Why do I hang out with these idiots?
Introducing investigator Ghostline. Smart. Introducing your girlfriend's dad to your finished time. Not smart. Start investing in minutes with as little as $10.
You're wasting hours in Skyrim, and you're probably going to realize it. In this video, I'll show you 22 ways to cut the grind, skip the boring bits, and get straight to the front. So, if you value your time, then make sure you watch to the end, because these clicks are going to save you a lot of money. My first tip is that if you've been through the opening sequence and tutorial before, then you could instantly save yourself 20 minutes or so by installing a very simple mod that will allow you to skip Calvin entirely. Don't worry, this video won't be massively mod heavy if that's not your thing. I recommend a total of 3 very light touch mods, but this one really is incredible quality of life feature. After all, it's pretty tedious having to listen to a rail banging on about a girl who usually sleeps off with us every single time. This mod is called Alternative Start, Live Another Life, and it lets you choose from a set of starting locations and scenarios that all allow you to skip the tutorial and help it entirely. You still get to create a character normally, but then you'll drop the lines of the scenario and you can immediately go about your adventure, which is massively convenient for anyone who's already seen the intro at a certain time. Alternatively, if you don't want to use mods, then I'd advise that next time you go through the tutorial, if you make any manual save, instantly leave hand. That way, you can always go back and start a new playthrough without interrupting the entire opening sequence. The main problem with this is that if you do this, you're basically stuck with one race in that save file, because you get the race at the very beginning of the tutorial and you can't change it up in that point. You may think that using a console command to change your race is an obvious solution to this, but I really wouldn't recommend it, as it can result in various problems. My second time saving tip is to take advantage of the often overlooked carriage system. In Skyrim, carriages can be found outside of every major city, and for a small fee, they'll whisk you away to any major whole capital, even if you haven't been there before. This is absolutely worth doing, because once you've discovered a city by a carriage, you can then fast travel there for free at any time. The cost of riding on the new carriages is only straight through counters and roadside discoveries. And that's fine when you're looking for a bit of efficiency. For example, when you have to track the whole depth of the entire map to carry out some dead task. But I'd advise making sure you blend this approach of exploring as well, because that's a lot of what the game's about. More on the efficient travelling speed, I'd also recommend getting your hands on the horse sooner rather than later. Not only do horses move faster than running on foot, but they have the same traction and speed terrain for some reason. Skyrim horses can scale some almost vertical surfaces you'd absolutely have to walk around on foot, which means that they enable you to take more direct routes over mountains and cliffs, which allows the richer density faster. They're also pretty handy when you need to escape certain situations, such as when you accidentally wander into a giant camp at low level and you need to hide there out there. You can buy a horse from the stables outside of any city for $1 as well, as well as being able to obtain horses through various other means. I won't list all of them in this video, but one particularly good horse comes from progressing the Dark Brotherhood questline until you unlock the famous ability. On top of the benefits already covered, horses also allow you to ride full speed and fast travel while you're over encumbered, which can save a huge amount of time. As getting over encumbered is a real pace getting you move at the speed of a slug, and if you're not willing to sacrifice items by slotting them, then you're going to be having to waddle all the way back to town, which takes forever. Also, by having a horse, you're just going to need fewer trips back to town and deaths. However, it's not just horses that help to deal with this problem. Alchemy is also a really useful tool as it allows you to create fortified carry-weight potions, and these are particularly useful in places you can't summon before, such as dungeons. Using a fortified carry potion can be a massive time saver in this scenario. It still allows you to quickly exit the dungeon rather than having to crawl out at a snail's pace after looting the weapons from the final boss test. Just make sure you get to the merchant for your horse before the effect of the potion wears off. If you find yourself over-encumbered at the edge of the dungeon without a fortified carry potion, then you can always use the whirlwind sprint there to help you get to the exit faster, as it ignores the hindrance. The two-word version of this track is the most efficient use for the scenario, as it gives you the highest distance travel per second on recharge. Allows you to dash forward 75 feet every 25 seconds. The Greybeard will teach you the first word as part of the main class, and then you'll travel to the associated word order at the second. I certainly wouldn't recommend this as a primary method for dealing with encumbrance, but it's definitely worth knowing about and using if you find yourself in the situation I've just described. It's also handy for zipping over traps and dungeons without taking damage, and it can even be useful for traversing difficult terrain and getting to hard to reach areas. Though I'd highly recommend saving before you try and make it too adventurous, as this is a great way to glitch the game and potentially cost yourself some progress. Speaking of snags that aid reversal, you can also take advantage of the become ethereal effect to temporarily negate fall damage, which essentially allows you to take shortcuts by leaping off mountains and cliffs rather than taking the slow climb down. It's not like it's something you're going to be using constantly, but it's still worth knowing about as it can save a few minutes of frustration with navigating your way down the mountain. Also, the first word of this sound is discovered during the main quest, so you don't exactly have to go out the other way to get it. Let's move on now to time savers when it comes to leveling and skill progression. Firstly, one of the simplest ways to save time while leveling is to make use of Skyrim's XP bonus system. Right on for escaping Helden, or upon starting anywhere, use the alternative start mod. Travel to the Guardian Stone.
Stanley would play Penalty Hill.
Each Guardian Stone grants you 20% faster skills in each of the three amazing categories of Mage, Thief, and Warrior skills. And I'd recommend that you pick the stone that matches the skill that you plan to focus on first. For example, the Warrior Stone if you're going to be fighting with melee weapons, or the Thief Stone if you want to focus on stealth and archery. And you can fast travel back to the stones at any point that you want to swap, so don't agonize too much over the decision. Of course, if you look at keep travelling back to the Guardian Stones, then there's great optimizers that activate with Lover Stones instead, which gives you a universal 15% experience for skills in every category. On top of getting a blessing from these standing stones, you can also get the rested bonus by sleeping in a bed with your own portrait in here. This gives you a 10% XP bonus for 8 hours, or a 15% bonus if you sleep your stacks for the Lover's Comfort Run. These bonuses stack with the 3 Guardian Stone blessings, giving you a 30 to 35% experience boost with basically zero downside. However, the rest of the bonuses don't stack with the Lover's Stone, so you need to consider that as part of the trade-off. That is unless you take advantage of a slightly more advanced method to really supercharge your experience. This involves making clever use of the unique effect of the Imperial Planet, an item you can get hold of through the Door Guard DLC. This unique power, with a bit of strategy, will allow you to have a Guardian Stone blessing, a Lover Stone blessing, and still be able to stack it with the Sleeping Bonus. Basically, the ethereal plane allows you to store the blessing for standing separate bit, and the effect of that blessing will be applied to the before you're aware of the plan. So what you do is you go and store the Lover Stone blessing within the plan. Then you go with the Guardian Stones and activate whichever Guardian Stones you want the blessing from. Then you just need to travel to a bed of your own, or within an inch, pay for, and take off the ethereal cracks before you get to sleep. You'll wake up with a well-rested bonus, and then you can immediately pop the ethereal strength back on. And by doing so, you stack the Lover Stone blessing, a Guardian Stone blessing, and the resting for Lover's Comfort bonus. And by using this method, you can achieve up to a 50% XP boost for 8 in-game hours to aid for your capacity of skills.
So new strangers will play first time mates in environment friendly.
Power leveling storage, but this is the incredibly useful method to save you some time if the skill hero's use starts to fall behind. Or if you suddenly decide you want to level up one of your crafting skills, for example, but you don't want to spend hours doing it. That actually uses redundancy for efficient and leveling skill and fall behind. And this one is far less convoluted. And that's to make sure that you take advantage of skill traders to trade 5 levels in a skill that you're behind on every time your character levels up. I say 5 because that's the limit of how many skills you can trade per character level. It doesn't cost a huge amount of gold, and if you're really struggling to cash, you could be especially sneaky and pickpocket the gold and run it back in the trade after they finish trading. Very dishonest, of course, but if you're role-playing or slippery fish, then you might play right into your character. By the way, if that trader has the ability to become a follower, then you don't even have to roll, because you can make them trade you and then just access agent before you take the gold right back at the back of the trade at the end. Just be aware that with the Skyrim patches, a lot of people have installed it because it was just 5 days to try to give them the follower that job. But if you're more likely not able to then if can extend this method comes back. Speaking of skills, some of the most ridiculously slow to level in normal use, and illusion magic is one of them. So if you find that your illusion skills lagging behind and you don't want to spend forever trying to read them, the fastest way to level up illusion is simply to cast a muscle spell repeatedly whilst you go about your normal business. It's possible to go from a living of 50 to 100 extremely quickly by simply stacking travel, especially if you stack the XP bonuses from earlier tips. And even if you don't have any interest in illusion, this can be a cheeky way of gaining 15 levels and therefore personally extending the skill that you actually do what you use. The only real limitation that can cast you to do this is your magic ability, and you can achieve the rest bonus you can constantly reset it. You can also do this with conjuration magic by repeatedly counting the soul trap on a dead body over and over. Though, much like the follower trading trick, it is important to note that the unofficial Skyrim has removed your ability to do this, as it prevents gaining XP to dead turns. So if you have that one skill, you need to remove or disable it to use this method, or you just have to stick with more rigorous and conjuration level process, such as serving backflashes and combat. However, in another patch game, this can be though admittedly it is pretty easy, given you can't simply spam it what's going about your business like you can with buttons, you need to get more casting on. The main reason I used this trick previously is that I'm not a quick skill points to conjuration and you take advantage of the excellent and spamming those skills early on. While we're talking about skills that give you a head start in the early game, I'd suggest that a highly time-efficient way of generating some gold early on is to use the alchemy skill. Basically, combining ingredients using alchemy will result in potions that have a higher gold value than that of its ingredients. And with certain recipes, that could be a ludicrous amount of gold as shown on the screen right now. However, the time-saving technique here is to ensure that you loot every single ingredient you come across as part of your normal organic flavor. Then, each time you visit a city, combine those ingredients you now make and swap the result of the potion to a vendor. If you do this consistently, this will net you as much gold as you'll likely ever need in a day, unless you have aspirations to own and furnish every single house. And you can accomplish this by not making any more effort really than remembering the ingredients that you naturally have across. On the subject of crafting skills, another particularly powerful one is smithing. But the problem is, it can be a bit of a pig to level given all the materials you need to acquire in order to progress. However, once you hit smithing level 30, which I suggest you do by simply spamming iron daggers, you can take a perk called Dwarven Smithing. And with this perk, an extremely efficient path of maxing your smithing skill opens up. And that's Dwarven Metal. Basically, the weather ruins are an elixir scrap metal that can be smelted into dwarven ingots, basically providing with huge quantities of smithing materials that you can run around looking for things to find. All you need to do is delve into the incredible ruins and you collect every bit of dwarven scrap. But you so you don't get the efficient how to deal with the overpower. Then, when you've got as much dwarven metal scrap as you can carry, then you simply take the forward and start the process of turning the dwarven weapons and armor in order to level smithing. To make this even more efficient, while delving in those ruins, you should consider completing an unfathomable depths quest, which can be started by speaking to non-Argonian named and 20 distant atoms in Richmond. The synergy here is that this quest rewards a buff called Ancient Knowledge, which gives you a 15% bonus to smithing XP, while also sending you into a dungeon full of rare metal scrap to get it. So, go no bother. In fact, you can also sell the items you craft for a decent amount of gold as well, so triple bubbles, if that's even a thing. Wow, it's a thing into other rooms, obviously. Now, speaking of delving into exciting content, you can delve into the bonus videos offered by Ingress Games YouTube membership, including bonus guides, RPG discussion videos, and other RPG-related content. And I also have a Patreon if you want to unlock all these benefits, plus a few extras, including private Discord channel access. Oh, and for those YouTube members and Patreon members, I'll put your name in the credits of my video. You can find links to becoming a YouTube member or Patreon in the description down below. Anyway, let's move on to some more time-saving tips, with the next few focusing on combat. Of course, one huge time-saver in combat is simply dealing more damage, so fights don't drag out forever. And if you're going to the ever-popular Stealth Archer build, then the Bang Bow spell is a fantastic choice for efficiently taking out your enemies. This spell allows you to summon a danger quality bow at a very early stage in the game, which makes you incredibly overpowered. It's not even that difficult to get hold of. You simply use a travel to Fort Amol, which can be found at this location on the map, enter the prison area, and loot the Bang Bow's code, as I'm showing the video right now. The only catch is that you need 15 conjurations to get in order to use it, but the good news there is that you already know how to get that from watching tip number 11. Oh, and make sure you put some attribute points into Magico when you make speed after all. There's definitely a helpful balance to describe.
Señora, sala de transporte. ¿Te gustaría que le traiga una sombrilla, señora?
Would you like me to bring you an umbrella, sir?
Sure, why not?
Another tip for taking enemies down at lightning speed, however, is to take advantage of stealth modifiers. Yes, this might be obvious to veteran players, but new players may not realise that you can spend points in sneak that will increase damage in dagger, bow, and stealth by a ludicrous amount. At the extreme end, making stealth attacks with daggers deal 15 times the damage of a normal attack, which results in enemies frequently dying in a single hit. You can even take this a step further and actually reach a 30 times damage multiplier by stacking these birds with these strain of blood or Cicero's gloves. And at that point, very few enemies in the game are going to survive a single hit from stealth. So basically, if you master stealth and incorporate these birds, you can tear through dungeons like a whirlwind. And even if you don't care about the speed, it's just an incredibly fun way to clear a dungeon regardless. You could, of course, take the pacifist route, or the thieves route if you wanted to sound more glamorous, and use your sneak skill to work your way through dungeons and other scenarios without actually entering combat at all. If your sneak skill's high enough, then there are many encounters in which you can stealthily work your way past enemies without alerting them to your presence, grab the quest items or loot that you need, and then take off the before the enemy even realise what happened. If you're especially daring, you can even think of propositions. That's right, follow the twist up back. But yeah, if you're short of time and want to squeeze one more question in, then it's bound to offer you an interesting opportunity to do so. Another thing that can save you a huge amount of wasted time, potentially hours, is the simple practice of remembering to save the damn game. I feel like I include this tip in every video I ever make, but it's just so important, especially in the context of time-saving tips. Do not rely on Skyrim's auto-save system. It's going to let you down at some point, and you're potentially going to lose hours of progress. And if you're a busy person that doesn't have a lot of time to play the game, then this can easily be a small break the camel's back, and you just stop playing the game entirely, essentially missing out on a ton of the joy that you could have gotten from finishing your favourite. So yeah, make sure you use both the quick save function, both pressing F5 for in the moment type saves to go for dangerous encounter, as well as making regular full manual saves, just in case quick saves let you down. Like if you use a quick save just before you get trapped in some sort of game-breaking bug. Anyway, let's round things off with into what you must call with a short time savers. That combined could really free up some serious playtime to enjoy doing stuff that's more fun than, inventory management. Especially given that Skyrim's inventory management UI is a lot to be desired. Speaking of which, if you want a far easier and outdated UI, or maybe Skyrim inventory management far less painful and time consuming, then I suggest installing the Skyrim UI mod. This is an incredibly popular mod that completely overhauls the floating console-style menus with a nice friendly interface. And for that reason, it's why you go with any person out about the Skyrim PC. Basically, SkyUI just gives you a much more convenient and easy to navigate inventory system, replacing Skyrim's basic UI in which you have to scroll for what feels like an eternity to find the item that you're looking for. Sure, the time you save might feel small in each instance, but when you consider how often you open your inventory, you can see how it really starts to stack up and into that precious gaming window with monotonous admin. You may also want to consider using a quick loot mod function, so you don't have to open a full inventory list every time you boot a body or container. Mods like Quick Loot Elite, for example, will display a small loot menu in each other container, letting you grab items at once, rather than having to transition into the full inventory screen. This is a nice quality of life feature, and it just saves a ton of time when you multiply it by the hundreds of chests, barrels, and bodies you don't lose paper. And again, it's not about rushing the game, it's about reallocating the time and figuring out how to find it. If you're someone who finds inventory management exhilarating, of course, then you can save really more disconnect and empower you. Another simple thing you can do when it comes to inventory management is to loot smart. In Skyrim, not more loot is created equally. And one major time waster is picking up every last pot, pan, and iron sword, only to get overcome and spend a half your adventure wandering back and forth to merchants. To save yourself some time in this regard, and to actually be far more efficient when it comes to making gold, then adopt the habit of looting selectively. Focus on items with a high value to weight ratio, like jewelry, enchanted light items, potions, and gems. And just drop this heavy stuff when you're carry weight stuff. If you do decide to use a Sky UI mod, it actually shows the growth value ratio of items, which makes it a bit easier to decide which ones to throw away. But even without mods, it's a pretty easy calculation to make on the fly. You can also utilise your followers to cut down on trips back and forth to town in order to sell your loot to merchants. This is due to the fact that a follower can carry a huge amount of weight with you, massively extending your holding capacity. All you need to do is speak to your follower and ask them to carry some items for you, and they'll gladly serve as your passenger. Then, when you get to town, simply park them next to a vendor like a shopping trolley and start flogging the items that they produce as moving items like you. Of course, there are going to be some items that you don't want to sell, but you might not be ready to use them yet. For these items, you're going to need a more permanent storage solution, and the best option for this is to buy a house. It's going to save you a lot of time in the long run to store key materials to have step your crafting skills, for example, rather than selling them and then having to go out and spending hours grinding them when you actually get to the point you want to start leveling your skills. The reason a player house is so useful for this is because it gives you stable, non-resetting storage for all the items you want to keep as you carry. You can dump crafting materials, extra gear, collectibles, and whatever you want in a chest of your home instead of lugging them around or storing them in random barrels, which can reset and fill your stuff. Breeze Home in Whiterun is usually the earliest in cheapest pace. It costs 5,000 gold and becomes available after the first few main quests. That is unless you have the anniversary edition of the game, in which there are already number of player houses even at 10 free. I'll link my player house guide in the description down below if you want to know more about that, because that's a pretty deep subject. Trust me when I say this, nothing wastes time when you realise your stash of smithing materials got wiped out because you left them in an uncertainty. Anyway, that should hopefully help you to shave off some time from the more tedious tasks in Skyrim, and to help focus your play sessions on the more enjoyable stuff. Of course, there's still plenty more to learn on top of this, and I have tons more Skyrim guide content on my channel, and other
Welcome back. I know this video is rather late, and it's very full day. I'm actually going to start at the bottom of the quarter. So I spent the day meeting with possible fanatics. Spent the day hanging around with the people, collectors who do something like that, and collectors like myself. We were part of a panel, meaning that you were actually on the stage, you were talking to people from the manufacturer, that panel was supported by our wonderful moderator, Adam West. We'll provide us with a link for that. That will be uploaded to the channel. It's roughly 2 hours, and that will be uploaded to the channel so you can get that up. And I'm looking forward to sharing with you guys what it is. I am going to take down here for the day. For a couple of days, we were like to from the first time we worked together with the guests. We will have tomorrow. Might be a thematic stuff for a bit tomorrow. We haven't quite decided yet what the plan is for tomorrow morning and beyond. And for there's a final decision tomorrow, so that could make it pretty good. So figure all that out and make sure that you don't. I also did keep some subscribers today. They told me while I was on board fanatic stuff, and that was great. I appreciate everybody for all the research I had for the lots of content. It is remarkably humbling to go to various cities around North America and have to feel something that is in their content. There's lots of videos today. They recite specific videos, specific moments where they were wrong content, when you play on video, that's made them subscribe. There are a few that have said, hey, you're taking in this video as a stage, and very often answers. But I will probably provide a more unvarnished response to the first that I can. But today was a very, very good. I cannot stress how important the video on the channel. And I think this is really exciting development in the next couple of years. If I cannot share right now, that's awesome. There are some good messages that we made today on the long round and then next Saturday the event tonight, so I was talking about the guys channel that's on the universe on the blog and bigger days. So it's that. Now in the NHL just today, there was one item, Bedard is signed. So Connor Bedard is not going to get off the seat, that's off the table. He signed a 5-year contract with the Chicago Blackhawks. $18 million, $75 million for Bedard. I know when we both say that it was too much money in today's market. It is, I think, ridiculous. Bedard is going to be a very good player for a very long time. And I think he is ready to take off offensively and follow the rest of the players. So looking forward to that. And all of that fun. Now, also, Wikipedia reporting that the total contract is assigned to July 1st. Total value of the contract now is $1.5 billion for the team. So that's a lot of money. It is interesting because more than July 1st is actually now government is very intriguing and cool, and it's probably not going to see a lot happening. And yet, $1.5 billion is the $10 billion.
There were some contracts at the time that was Goldsmith players was catching door arbitration, and then with the news in California, but I still do a video talking about arbitration over the next couple of days. So, thank you guys so much for all your support. It's greatly appreciated. It was a very rich day, and like I said, it was a very important day for me, for my channel, and I think it's going to be great. So, stay tuned to figure out if like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And for those that I haven't yet, that was good today, and if you want to talk with them, subscribe. After talking to welcome to the channel and what the show is about, especially today, I think it's great to that is what needed. And thank you guys so much for all your support and the content with them. This is has arrived. Bud Light, it's gone.
This is to a false place, Corona edition. She was regional bank and should have sacrificed local support. No, especially when your financial institution actually knows who you are.
Sure.
Your money should work as hard as you do.
Sure. In this video, I'm going to show you how to avoid 30 of the biggest possible mistakes that you can make when playing Skyrim for the first time. So let's jump straight into number 1. And also a big thank you to War Thunder for sponsoring this video. First and foremost, when you roll to Riverwood at the very beginning of the game, there's something you need to know about the citizens of Skyrim that might just save your life. That is that they really like their children. Seriously, they adore them. And you will find out just how deep this affection runs if you dare to harm a single feather on their precious feathered heads. If you do, well, you will very quickly. Now, while chickens might surprise you with their hidden power, giants are exactly the same as you look. And then, especially in the ocean. The problem is that you run into many giant cats whilst exploring the world, and for so many players, the temptation to engage them is just too much. I mean, think about all of the loot they might be holding. This is, however, a lethal mistake, and if you do engage at low level, then you'll quickly find yourself becoming an involuntary astronaut in Skyrim's first attempt at moon landing. So it's probably best to admire them from a distance, at least until you have a few levels behind you. Now, I put the previous 2 mistakes right at the beginning of the video for a very good reason, and that is to emphasise mistake number 3, possibly the biggest mistake you can make in Skyrim, and that is forgetting to save. Yeah, Skyrim only auto-saves when you choose zones, and the problem with that is that you can easily spend hours in the open world without ever actually finishing a zone. Therefore, if you get launched into the upper atmosphere by a giant without having to manually save the game, then you could lose hours and hours of progress. But this is how keyboards meet computer monitors and controllers meet television. So I suggest you save early and save often. Let's move on to cover some major early tips. Starting with the level scaling track, which is an easy one to fall into. Basically, Skyrim uses a dynamic level, which means that most enemies scale alongside you. Specifically, they scale up based on your overall character level, which you can raise by increasing the level of your individual skills. Now, that sounds fairly sensible and well balanced on paper, but here's the catch. Not all skills are created equal, and if you spend your early levels farming non-combat skills such as speed, lockpicking, or pickpocketing, then your overall level will decrease, but your combat ability won't. And unfortunately, scaled up enemies don't really care that you're a world-class pickpocket or if you talk your way into a discounted shotgun. They simply don't use their scaled up abilities to send you to Sottenguard Park, and you can say, please let that. The lesson is, focus on leveling at least one combat skill alongside your non-combat skills if you don't want enemies to outscale you in combat. The reason I say to focus on one or maybe a couple of these combat skills is that you could also fall into a similar trap by spreading a combat skill to them and becoming effectively a jack of all trades. Skyrim allows you to dabble in a bit of everything all at the same time, so you could sneak a little, you could use various forms of magic, and you could use various kinds of melee weapons, for example. And that freedom is honestly part of the charm. You can take things in whatever direction you want. However, in the early game, being a part-time thief, part-time mage, and part-time warrior usually means being the master of nothing. There Then, once you combine this with the level scaling track from the previous one, then you're quickly going to find yourself struggling against the scale enemy. If you're going to play on GT difficulty settings, then you can probably ignore this. You can pretty much experiment freely, and it's not really going to hold you back. But if you're going to try and play on the higher difficulty settings and challenge yourself, then I would definitely recommend focusing just on a small number of combat skills, then start to branch out a bit more, put that solid foundation in place. Now, the next mistake can really compound the previous two again, but worse still, it can cause some serious long-term build problems. But before we move on, a quick word from today's sponsor. Warfighter is the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever, and it's available right now for free on mobile devices. You can take command of over 2,500 tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships from 10 major nations. Everything from 1925 planes and armored cars, all the way up to modern fighter jets and main battle tanks. The main thing that makes Warfighter stand out is just a real experience. Vehicles are modelled down to every component, engines, ammo racks, crews, and different shells and missiles behave just like they would in real life. When something blows up, you can get the X-ray view showing exactly how the shot went through and what it killed. It's just incredibly satisfying. And now, Warfighter is fully on mobile too. So you can join 95 million players worldwide with just massive ground, air, and naval battles wherever you are. You and returning players on PC and consoles will also get a massive bonus, including multiple premium vehicles, the exclusive Eagle of Valor decoration, 100,000 Silver Lions, and 7 days of premium free. But it's only available for a limited time, so why wait? Join Warfighter for free today on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, or mobile. Use my links in the description or in comments down below. Okay, so back to that big mistake I mentioned that can impact you in both short and long term, and that is wasting your vote. The challenge here is that you only get a single vote point per character level. So early on, they come in quick and fast into the rapid leveling curve, and as you progress, levels get longer and longer to learn, which makes every point a lot more valuable than you might initially realise. Therefore, dropping them into random skills just because they seem fun at the time can actually leave you with a speculative and developed build later on. And in Skyrim, votes are not easily set. It actually takes a significant amount of effort through the legendary system or from the Dragonborn DLC. So the smarter approach is actually to focus your birth points in a small number of core skills that you actually plan on using. And therefore, every perk will give you a meaningful power increase. Then, like I said in the previous one, once your build is a bit more fleshed out, you're in a better position to experiment with perk points after that. A similar principle applies when it comes to wasting your attributes. It's a little hard to waste these since health, magic, and stamina are useful, but ignoring stamina is directly limited melee playthroughs quite miserable. Running out of stamina in big fights means you can't perform power attacks and blocks, leaving yourself completely open to enemy attacks. Then, outside of combat, you'll be stuck jogging at a similar pace due to running out of stamina even with sprints. Stamina is really what keeps melee going alive, and it makes the game feel good. Investing here makes your character stronger, faster, and even able to carry more loot. So, in a way, investing in stamina could make you richer. Failing all that, there is one other trick you can use, and that is to make sure you keep a healthy supply of vegetable soup in your inventory. And this is because its regeneration effect is basically broken, and it will solve most of your stamina woes, even if you haven't invested any points in stamina. Now, speaking of melee builds, another common mistake is neglecting to have some kind of range option in your tool. It doesn't matter what type of build you're playing, sooner or later you'll find yourself in situations where getting up close just isn't practical. Dragons, archers on high ledges, and annoying enemies who find you around the place can all punish a pure melee build. And nothing feels worse than charging around helplessly while being peppered by arrows from some smug bandit standing on the left. I'm not saying you need to become a master archer or spellcaster, but I would highly recommend having at least one range option that you maintain at a reasonable skill level, as this will give you enough flexibility to deal with awkwardly positioned enemies in a far more satisfying way. You can even consider using shapes as your range option, which brings me on to my next surprisingly common mistake, which is forgetting to use shapes and racial powers at all. Skyrim makes a big deal of you picking the dragon. Yet plenty of players, myself included, don't have a without them touching very abilities that define the character. Shapes can completely change the flow of the battle, locking enemies on cliffs, disarming tough opponents, or even allowing you to survive throwing yourself at a mountainside. On top of that, racial powers like the High Elves Master Regen, for example, can turn an otherwise hopeless fight into a win. These abilities are really powerful and often life-saving, but only if you actually remember to use them instead of just letting them sit forgotten in your magic tablet. Another thing that new players regularly neglect to do is to make use of these abilities, either due to forgetting that they have them, or because they're saving them for that one big battle that never actually comes. Then you end up finishing the game with a thousand pile of healing potions still sitting in your inventory. At higher difficulties in particular, this becomes a step, and it can result in countless unnecessary and frustrating deaths that could have been prevented by just downing a couple of potions or applying a poison to your weapon to tip the scale in favour. Bottom line, potions and poisons are designed to heal, not to stop happening. So don't be afraid to use them early and often. Speaking of potions, one of the biggest mistakes any player can make in Skyrim is ignoring alchemy. Skyrim showers you with alchemy ingredients from the very beginning of the game. However, many players treat them simply as junk, rather than the key to defeating the game, even on the highest difficulty setting. Using alchemy, you can craft potions that boost damage, restore health, fortify skills, turn you invisible, the list just goes on and on. Then, on top of that, you can also apply poisons to your weapons to apply extra damage or debilitating effects to your enemies in combat. Not only that, but alchemy is also one of the best gold makers in the entire game, with some potions selling for truly ludicrous amounts of gold. So, unless you build much high damage and great big piles of delicious chewed gold, then make sure you get started with alchemy early on. The same thing applies to smithing, which is another crafting-based skill in Skyrim. This one allows you to turn ores and ingots you find in the world into powerful weapons, armor, and jewelry. And not only that, it will also allow you to upgrade many of your weapons and armors that you find on your adventures as well, even if you didn't have them to begin with. Smithing, combined with our next tips, is the key to the most powerful weapons of the game. But even early on, smithing can still give you a massive edge, letting you hit harder and take less damage from the very beginning of the game. And just like alchemy, it's really fun. Especially if you find it enchanted to transmute iron into silver and gold, and then use it to craft high-value enchanted jewelry.
Almost just 11. Enemy seems off and spin product or do yourself using any topic phone for $2.99. Your favorite pizza at our best price. Almost just 11, but it's not forever. So order it at
You know what? I've been around with that. What do you feel like the case of? What's bugging on me like? Speaking of which, the third and final crafting skill that new players often neglect is enchanting, and it might just be the most powerful of them all. Enchanting lets you take any weapon or piece of armor and supercharge it with effects that massively increase your power. You can throw bonus fire damage on your sword, health regeneration on your armor, or you can reduce spell costs to 0 if you use the right build. So you need to check out some of my more advanced level videos for that kind of thing. When you combine alchemy with smithing and enchanting, you can get your hands on the most powerful weapons, armors, and effects in the game, as well as the ability to make more gold than you could ever spend. So it's a massive mistake not to get started with all three of them early on. One thing I will say about enchanting, however, is that it requires a little more investment than the other two, due to the need to acquire soul gems and then to trap souls within them. The mistake new players typically make here is forgetting that second step, which is to trap souls whilst in combat. Then they access the enchanting altar and realise that they have a bunch of empty gems and are unable to power their enchantment. There are two ways to address this. Firstly, get hold of the soul trap staff and add it to your favourites menu so that it's still quick and used towards the end of the fight, or even better in my opinion, get a weapon with the soul trap effect, such as the Mace of Lola Bar, so that the effect is applied without you even having to think about it. Trust me, this will save a lot of frustration later on when you want to enchant your gear. Now, you probably forgot that I just mentioned something called the favourites menu. So let's talk about that quickly, as it's one of the simplest quality of life features in Skyrim, and also one of the most overlooked by players. Instead of digging through endless tabs of weapons, potions, and spells mid-combat, you can actually assign your essentials to the favourites list and pull them up instantly with a single button press while in combat. It makes swapping from bow to swords to healing spell completely seamless and keeps you alive in those frantic fights where every second matters. It seems like it's all an obvious thing, but so many new players don't use it, and it makes your gameplay feel really clunky and slow. So get your keybinds from your favourites menu and get in the habit of using it from the get-go. Let's move on to some exploration and travelling in the Crusades, as these will cost you a lot of time and hassle in the game. Firstly, you can save a lot of time running back and forth near the game by making use of the often overlooked carriage system. You'll find these carriages parked right outside every major city, and for a small fee, they'll take you directly to any other city. Once you get there, that city will then be unlocked for fast travel. So the carriage network allows you to unlock a fast travel network spanning all major cities from the very beginning of the game, and it's pretty cheap as well. With that being said, I would also advise you don't overuse fast travel. It's always tempting to just make a map marker and instantly appear at the destination, but the problem with that is that you end up skipping the next sense of fast travel. But if you haven't, it may just be worth taking your journey by foot, as you never know what you might encounter. There's even a middle ground here that comes in the form of your very own horse, and I'd advise getting hold of one as early in the game as possible. Horses don't just cut travel time in half, they also let you around the otherwise completely inaccessible and massively increase your carrying capacity, even allowing you the option to fast travel when open camera, which can make a huge difference when you're trying to hold dungeons with up to 10%. You can buy a horse for $1,000 at the Whiterun stables, and you can also snag a free horse for certain quests such as the Dark Throne. Either way, it's a worthwhile investment. Speaking of overencumbrance, a common new player mistake is to hoard every single piece of loot that you come across. At first, grabbing every iron dagger, mace, and wolf pelt could feel quite comforting. I mean, who knows when you might need it later. Spoiler, you probably won't. And the thing is, this quickly turns into a nightmare once you're overencumbered. Nothing kills the flow of exploration like being forced to crawl at a snail's pace because you're weighed down with a load of junk. There are a few ways to avoid this, but the most impactful one is to always be mindful of the value to weight ratio of the items that you're looting. Basically, pick up anything that has low weight and high gold value and dump the rest. If you do insist on becoming a hoarder, however, don't miss out on securing yourself a player house early on, and to be fair, it doesn't only apply to hoarders. Skyrim is absolutely overflowing with loot, and even if you're careful about what you carry, your inventory still fills up pretty fast. This is especially true once you start to collect stacks of crafting materials and collect some interesting weapons that you want to try out at some point in the future. Now, the cheapest way out is the Breeze Home in Whitehall, which you can buy for $5,000 after becoming 10 as part of the main story. But you can also find a number of really safe stores to take. For example, the one you get for joining the college in Windham. It's worth a quick Google of safe stores based in Skyrim, as there are a fair few.
Well done, Wellstead. I'm paying you $10.5 million for a reason.
Skyrim is also full of tempting loot that doesn't technically belong to you, and you wouldn't be the first player to stuff their inventory with pretty much anything they didn't next down. However, if you do go around releasing people of their possessions, let's say, you will quickly realise that stolen items are the regular. And as a result, you end up lugging around a huge amount of valuable gear that takes up a lot of space but you can't convert it into gold. Worse still, if a guard arrests you, even for a totally unrelated crime, then they will confiscate all the stolen goods in your inventory, which could represent a hefty financial loss if you've been on a bit of a crime spree. The solution to this is gaining access to events who will happily purchase your ill-gotten goods. And you can unlock events by simply joining the Thieves Guild in Ripley.
Your hands are already full with everything you care about, and the slate sets goes like the first personality, almost precisely as you make the door. Seamless and secure every time.
like sense ground, answering and locking you trust. One final mistake that you players make when recently story is not making full use of their followers. Basically, followers have their own inventory, and you can use and trade items with them to effectively use them as categories. And if you drop items on the ground in order them to pick them up, well, then she doesn't even activate their carry capacity, and therefore you have a bottomless balance. Clearly, that's a bit of an exploit, but it was never fixed by the developers, and it could make inventory management a hell of a lot easier. Let's move on to the big other big regrets. Mistakes you could easily make in the moment, but may have a longer-term irreversible impact on your playthrough. And leading on nicely from the previous mistake, another follower-related mistake is, well, accidentally murdering. Yep, friendly fire is a thing in style, and while some followers can't be killed, primarily due to their role in the story, some can. So be careful your followers don't get caught in crossfire, especially if they're carrying a load of items with you, else you're going to end up with a serious logistical challenge on hands. Another thing you can accidentally do, believe it or not, is become a vampire. This is due to the fact that a single spell from a vampire can infect you with vampirism. And if you don't notice the message that comes up in the corner of the screen, 3 in-game days later, you're going to find yourself waking up as a full-fledged vampire. This comes with some benefits, of course, and you can make some incredibly powerful builds using vampirism. But depending on which version of the
Okay, Stinger.
it can come with some serious damage.
I hope you can keep that up.
Up to and including NPCs attacking you on sight, which can be a real problem when trying to progress the quest. The good news is that you can cure the disease in the early stages with a simple cure disease potion, or you can even reverse full-fledged vampirism by completing a quest with barrier in the top. Another thing you could easily get to regret is standing at gated artifacts without realising their true power. While some gated artifacts are indeed totally trash, some of them are incredibly powerful. So hard to get holding on to anything you come across, perhaps stick in storage as per my previous tip, until you understand their full potential. It would be gutting to lose
Driving long way. I don't think we're making the playoffs this year, but
that would be perfect. And weapons such as Mayron's Razor and Volendron can easily be classed as
Fuck.
items.
Skinner, really, buddy?
However, I want to bring your attention to one particular Daedric artifact that would be utter madness to get rid of or to make the wrong choices, and that is the Glass Star. Remember earlier when we talked about enchanting and the constant use for soul gems? Well, what I didn't mention is that soul gems are still being used, and the most powerful ones used for the best enchantments are actually fairly
Ooh, that's a huge win right there.
and Black Star are both infinitely reusable soul gems, and therefore offer incredible utility to the
Simon's Hardy's me, my old team in pulling, because that's not a surprise. Actually, he's one of my top players.
And depending on those actions, you will see one of these two happen the wall. And I can tell you right now, you keep friends not to pick the Black Star, as regardless of what this tooltip says, it can hold every type of soul, whereas the Zura Star can only have one soul. Now, Black Souls are always at the highest power level for enchanting purposes, and they are by far the most common in finding game as they become French humanoids, of which there are tons. So always go with the Black Star to avoid regretting your choice later on. One final regret that I've actually heard a lot of players express in their first playthrough is unlocking random dragon attacks, which happens earlier in the story to defeat the first dragon outside of one run. This is very much a matter of personal preference, but unlocking dragon attacks means that they will start to randomly spawn and attack you in the open world, and they may also attack those around you. Now, these randomly spawning dragons do make some pretty cool encounters at first, and obviously they're very dramatic and very important if you want to learn dragon chants. But they do get a little tedious after a while, and importantly, they can even kill key NPCs when they attack cannon. So while it's not major, it's worth knowing about. So you can decide whether you want to hold off and progress to the main quest if you want to avoid these random encounters. Let's finish off our list with a few miscellaneous tips. The first one will probably seem as line from the obvious to anyone who follows the main path after the tutorial. However, if you simply run off in a random direction, which is and an awesome feature of Elder Scrolls games, then you can easily miss the significant buffs offered by these standing stones that can be found on the road to Riverwood. There are many such stones in the game, but the first three, known as the Guardian Stones, are particularly relevant as they offer you the choice of a 20% experience boosting with your warrior stage or feat skill. More skill experience means more
Good,
levels,
well says back.
per conscious band, and therefore more exciting builds to unlock. So make sure you grab one of these blessings and right after you look at the sword. And speaking of skills, it's also easy to miss the 3 skill points that you can get simply from reading certain books that you will find spread across the game. Now, this doesn't apply to all books, or even the majority of books, and therefore it's very easy to read a few, assume that they're just naughty bits, and never bother looking at the other books again. However, it's always worth opening up any book you haven't read yet, as there's always a chance you'll get a free skill, which is particularly handy for some of the harder to level skills, especially once you reach higher levels and skill points take far more effort to achieve. Finally, one of the biggest mistakes new players make has nothing to do with combat mechanics, loot, or exploration. So it's simply a case of stubbornness. I'll no doubt get some flack for saying this, but Skyrim gives you a difficulty slider for a reason, and this slider will allow you to dynamically change the difficulty setting with game. And you know what? If the difficulty setting shoots up and it's good in your experience, then there is no shame in making use of it. I'll let you in on a little secret. Sometimes the scaling in Skyrim just sucks and doesn't really seem to make any sense. So it's really not some sort of badge of honor to never take a slider. Basically,
Controls and no.
Reduce the difficulty if it starts to feel like a slog, so you can get back to enjoying the adventure. Ultimately, Skyrim isn't a competitive game, so don't feel pressured to treat it like one. And there you have it. Huge thanks again to War Thunder for sponsoring this video. Don't forget, you can play it right now for free on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, or mobile.
2 former Swedish goaltenders going at it.
And if you're new or returning after at least 6 months, you'll also get a massive bonus pack on PC.
This is the AHL team, he's been playing really well, so that's good, I guess. Zach Benson does one contract.
However, it's only available for a limited time, so be sure to grab it while you can. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more art content. Either way, have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.
Sounded game 10. Boom, back, yes. Awesome. Zach Benson signs an 8-year contract, $10 million. So I have 3 players streaming making 10.
In this video, I'm going to share 43 vital tips for your very first playthrough in Skyrim. No complex tricks, no assumed knowledge, just the straightforward information that you need to know to get the best possible experience as a brand new player. Let's start with race choice, as it's the first big decision that you're going to make. And while it's not game-breaking, it can have a meaningful impact. Picking the right race gives you early advantages through skill boosts, passive bonuses, and racial powers that, if carefully selected, can align very nicely with your build and make a significant difference to your early game power in particular, which can be especially useful if you're playing at a higher difficulty setting. For example, if you want to play a mage, then high helps are always short. Firstly, they start with an additional 50 magicka, allowing you to cast more powerful spells right out of the gate. They gain a starting bonus to nearly every single school of magic, and they have a racial ability that lets you regenerate magicka 25 times faster for 60 seconds, turning you inflict magic damage recklessly. Now that's a pretty major advantage compared to, say, a 50 who would have nowhere near that level of power right at the beginning of the game. And that's just one example of many. So it's definitely worth taking a moment to pick a race that complements how you want to play, because it can, despite what some people like to say, make quite a significant difference. Let's talk about skills next. The skill system is what underpins the leveling system, and therefore how you progress your character. Now, unlike many RPGs, Skyrim doesn't have traditional classes. Instead, it uses a classless progression system where you level skills simply by using them. For example, swinging a one-handed sword raises your one-handed skill, while casting a destruction spell increases your destruction level. Each time you level a skill, it contributes to your overall character level. Then, once you level up, you'll need to enhance the way in which you adjust a weapon and spell. It's a flexible and rewarding system that lets you shape your character however you want. Whether you're a pure warrior, stealth archer, battle mage, or just something totally unique, it's one of the defining features that makes Skyrim such a special game in my opinion. A quick warning about the first points, however. They come easily at first, but become much harder to earn as you progress. That's because first point is awarded when you catch level up, and leveling up becomes slower over time. Early on, your skills improve quickly, but at high levels, it takes far more effort. So, more strings of swords level one-handed, and more spells cast in order to level destruction, and so on. Now, the problem here is that in Skyrim, there is no to expect and reallocate those purposes. So it's worth thinking carefully about which skills you fancy use and saving your points until you're absolutely sure where you want to invest them. We look forward to Christmas villages.
Really?
Be careful out there. That's your head that I use. And entrepreneurs, don't look too That being said, mistakes aren't totally permanent. And while there's no easy way to respec in Skyrim, that doesn't mean you can't. You actually have two options. Firstly, once you reach skill level 100 for any skill, then you have the option to make that skill legendary. That means even if you mess up early, putting third points into the wrong place, you do have a route to recovery. However, without using exploits, it takes a very long time to get to skill level 100 in any given skill. So this isn't something you can quickly do if you mess up with perfectly, which is why my previous point very much still stands. Secondly, you also have the option to refresh your perks without resetting your skills at all, and that's by using the reset feature that is unlocked through the completely Dragonborn DLC main storyline. However, that involves, completing the main storyline and then playing the DLC. So again, it's not exactly a quick process. But I just wanted you to be aware that these options are available before you abandon a character due to missteps. So there are some options to put away. As I just mentioned, leveling skills in Skyrim can be a slow process. However, there are a number of things that you can do to speed that process up. And the first and most obvious is to make sure that you activate a standing stone blessing immediately after leaving the tutorial. On the road from Helden to Riverwood, you'll find the warrior mage and feet stones, which make your combat, magic, or stealth skills level 20% faster than any other one that you choose. And you can return these stones at any time to switch blessings with your focus changes. It's a significant bonus, and it's actually fairly easy to miss if you decide to ignore the main quest when you leave the tutorial. However, if you're planning to level a mix of skills and don't want to be running back and forth changing your blessing, then you may want to consider activating the Lover Stone instead. It's located to the northeast of Markarth, and it grants 15% faster leveling to all skills, which is only a 5% difference from specialized stones, and it saves a hassle of swapping them every so often. It does, however, prevent you from receiving the Lover's Comfort buff, which we'll touch upon in the next tip. Either way, it's a strong choice of flexible hybrid build, and one I'd personally recommend if you're not sticking strictly to one target type. You can also further increase your skill leveling bonus by sleeping an event that you either own or rent. This will give you the well-rested bonus for 8 in-game hours. The well-rested bonus offers you a 10% boost in all skill XP gains for a limited time. If you're married, yes, you can get married in Skyrim, then sleeping in the same bed with your spouse will increase this bonus to 15% due to the earlier mentioned Lover's Comfort buff. Stack this on top of one of the Guardian Stones, and that's a 35% bonus to the speed at which your skills in your chosen archetype will level, or a 30% bonus to the speed at which all skills will level if you go with the Lover's Stone and skip the Lover's Comfort buff. Okay, let's move on to skills and leveling and give you some tips around how you interact with the game world itself. And my first tip in this area is simply to explore everything. And I really do mean everything. Skyrim's world is massive and filled with hidden quests, powerful items, new systems, rich lore, and surprises around every corner. You never know when a random cave or unmarked shack might lead to a full questline or a unique reward, and you should absolutely explore all of them, as Skyrim isn't a game built around following a strict path. It's designed for you to create your own adventure. So don't just follow the quest markers. Delve dungeons, talk to every NPC, read books, check containers, and loot everything. Some of the very best storylines and mechanics aren't part of the main story or even one of the major side stories. They're found almost completely randomly. Basically, the more you interact with the world, the more it gives back. So you guided by your own curiosity, more than any guide or YouTube video, including my own. So this is what's given I need to view your attention. However, this level of freedom means that the game world can be somewhat unpredictable. 1 minute you're walking through a tranquil forest path without a care in the world, and the next you're eaten by a dragon or you're falling on a trail. An experience that will be all the more frustrating if you haven't recently seen again. The auto-save in Skyrim isn't particularly good, and the reason why this is that the game only really auto-saves when you load into a new area. And the problem with this is that you can spend multiple hours in the open world without ever loading into a new area. Which means if you die without having saved the game after having spent that amount of time in the open world, then you're going to lose all of your progress, spiral into an uncontrollable rage, and potentially put your keyboard straight through the monitor. So save early and save often. Now, despite the massive freedom to do what you want in Skyrim, there are of course a number of more structured storylines you can follow. So let's talk a little bit about their importance and what you can get out of them. Well, firstly, I would recommend progressing the main quest line at least far enough to unlock the dragon chapters, which happen to be right after you kill the first dragon outside of one. This is important because it enables access to dragon gems, powerful magical abilities that don't rely on any specific skill tree and can give you a major advantage in combat. The reason you need to
Okay, this good, 2029.
you'll need to absorb a dragon soul, and you only get those from the dragons. So, no dragons, no dragon souls, and ultimately no shadows. That being said, once dragons start spawning, they'll attack randomly throughout your playthrough whilst you're in the world, which can get somewhat repetitive and a little annoying after a while. So, it's a bit of a trade-off. And as Jolly Parton famously said, if you want the dragon card rainbow, you've got to put up with it.
Extra news, our new unreal deal is on. Plus, get an extra deal when you go to My Offers. Find new deals every week at our best prices.
For 50 years, Mr. Lou Plus Tires has proudly helped Canadians experience Canada. Whether that's making memories, making movies.
Another thing to know about dragon shapes, by the way, is that learning one is a two-step process. Before you activate each shape using a dragon soul, you'll first need to learn the words of that shape from one of Skyrim's words, which you can find in various places across the world, most typically in the epic dungeons. These words teach new shapes or additional words to existence. Some shapes have up to 3 different, with each word making the shape strong. For example, the unrelenting force shape that take us to Sudan starts with a fairly pushback if you're coming with Sudan, and then becomes a full knockdown blast once you have all 3. Anyway, I thought I'd better add that in case you started slaying dragons and were wondering why on earth you weren't learning any new shapes. Outside of the main storyline, Skyrim also has 4 major guild storylines: the Companions in Whiterun, the Thieves Guild in Riften, the Dark Brotherhood, and the College of Winterhold. Each has its own full quest line, characters, and unique rewards. And some of these rewards come very early in the quest line and are incredibly powerful in the early to mid-game. For example, the Shroud and Armor set is given almost immediately until the
Ooh,
Brotherhood.
is that Benson Tiger Radish? Oh my god, hello Tiger Radish.
And it's a total no-brainer.
Ooh, Tiger Radish comes in clutch.
Or you go for a more magic-based build, for example, then you could gain a massive advantage by joining the College of Winterhold early on. Due to the wide variety of spell tomes you'll be able to purchase as a member. Also, joining any of these guilds is extremely easy. You simply need to talk to the right NPC and follow a few simple, but sometimes rather sinister steps.
6 points for Thomas Hardy. Jesus, he's a god.
Join all of these guilds at the same time. To join the College of Winterhold, travel to Winterhold and see the NPC Guardian of Which College. To join the
Judge and Barons are playing pretty well, actually. Tyrage again, damn.
To join the Thieves Guild, head over to the Richton Marketplace in the daytime and speak to Grimlock. And finally, to join the Companions, head over to the Companions Borders Whitefront and speak to Conrad. I do, of course, have far more detailed guides on how to do all of this on my channel, so head over there and subscribe if you want to know more. Of course, Skyrim isn't just about these major quest lines, and the real magic is often found in the game's next miscellaneous quests. The thing about these quests, however, is that you never really know when you're going to encounter them. And when you do, they can easily be mistaken for mundane side activity.
Wow, we dominated Nashville. I mean, look at that, damn.
So my tip here is don't make...
JD Bolger, shit, well done. Seth Benson, too. Jeff Jury as well. Thomas Hardy got another point.
Sometimes the simplest interaction can lead into an adventure that keeps you entertained for hours, engaging you to the extent that by the time you finish the quest, you've forgotten what you've been doing when you stumbled upon it in the first place. Perhaps the most famous of these
Christ.
are those referred to as the Daedric quests, each offering a unique experience that culminates in receiving a legendary Daedric artifact as your reward. And without spoiling any of these quests for you, I want to point out that some of these rewards are just stupidly powerful, especially if you get hold of them in the early game. I highly recommend getting hold of the Black Star as the reward for the Zero Stage quest.
Oh wow, look at that, they dominate down there too. Speaking of...
More importance of that later in the video. And I'd also consider getting your hands on the Mace of Mobile Ball as an incredibly powerful early game melee weapon. To start Azura's quest, you simply need to travel to the Shrine of Azura and speak to her priestess, and to start Mola Ball's quest, you need to travel to Markarth and speak to Tyrannus outside of the abandoned house. I'll leave the rest of you to discover yourself. Or, alternatively, you can watch my video that ranks every Daedric weapon, as well as telling you how to get hold of each one of them. However, my overall point here is that you shouldn't miss out on the Daedric quests. They're awesome, and the rewards can be incredibly powerful. It is, however, worth mentioning that not all quests are born equal when it comes to difficulty, even if they have the exact same level of weapons, which can be a little frustrating, especially for the younger generation of gamers who are not used to the same level of nonsense as those of us who grew up on games like Morrowind and Oblivion, for example. Therefore, it's worth knowing that Skyrim's difficulty can be dynamically adjusted at any time. If you find yourself being completely overwhelmed by the game's sometimes inconsistent level scaling, then you can simply open a menu, go to gameplay and adjust the difficulty to a manageable level. Of course, if you're more of a purist, then you can just leave the area, train yourself up like a Pokemon, and then come back with a vengeance later on. While we're still on the theme of exploration and questing, let's cover the different ways in which you can get around the map. After all, Skyrim is pretty huge, but the good news is that you don't have to walk everywhere, and you can unlock a fast travel network that includes all major cities as soon as you reach Whiterun, and that is by utilising the carriage system. These carriages can be found outside of every major city gate, and for a small fee, they'll whisk you away to any major whole capital, even if you haven't been there before. This is absolutely worth it because once you've discovered a city by a carriage, you can then fast travel there for free at any time you like. The cost to use a carriage is low, typically 20 to 50 gold, and it allows you to unlock a fast travel network that spans the majority of the map very early in the game, saving you from having to make constant long treks to progress quests early into your playthrough.
As a small business owner, I'm willing to use the stuff in the office. That's building the schedule, dealing with patients. When it comes to those admin tasks, we've got that office. So you.
That being said, I'd like to get another piece of what I suppose could be easily.
That's how it feels reading the Lane Hudson news and being a Leafs fan.
Yeah, hey, Eric Engels reported yesterday that he did turn down more money
But CJ kind of clarified on the CJ show that would have been, what do they call it? It's illegal now. Where you make it deferred. Deferred. Yeah. So he could have made more if it's deferred. But it was the player, apparently, that went to his own management and to the team and said, okay, like, yeah, for this, let's just get a deal done. And isn't that funny how when a player takes control of a situation, it gets done. It gets done.
Yeah, Connor McDavid showed that. Lane Hudson showing that. Listen, I think the player made an enormous mistake. I think this is a really not good move for him. Yeah, like you're 1 year in, you want to call them, what are you doing? So I think it's a big financial mistake.
He is making like $60 or $70 million.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, like, it's a damn. It's not your money. It's not my money. He can do whatever he wants. The Habs can do whatever they want. The long and short of it is it's an extraordinary deal for the Montreal Canadiens. I don't know how Noah Dobson comes off a sub-40 points season. Lane Hudson comes off of 66 and wins the Calder. Yeah. And Dobson's making more. I don't know.
Because Dobson was traded to him.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. And I don't want to get it.
He only played like, Lane Hudson played like 70, 80 games. That's it. Bill Dobson's got a longer history.
Your history to be used to be.
They also fought with him versus that.
Yeah, yes, that is true. But, like, you need to be human to make 9.5. And,
no, I don't think you do.
Well, I'm not anymore.
Makes 9.5.
Dobson makes $1 million more than Provorov, and I don't want to grab it.
Yeah.
You know, and I keep going back to the Provorov one. Like, holy cow! Like, listen, please report in the newspapers that I'm mad. I am mad. I hate this a lot. It's super good for the Montreal Canadiens, which makes it worse. I would have been able to stomach it had I not been led to believe that this was going for them. And great deal. Fuck.
Yes. You were adamant this deal was going to get done. You were correct, sir. I think to explain what happened here with Lane Hudson and the reasoning behind him signing this deal that on the surface, you're like, oh, that's kind of interesting that he would take this low number here, is the Montreal Canadiens had a certain internal habit number that they wanted on there, right? If you're going to sign this deal at this point without that extended history of proving you can do it, we are not going to go north of $9 million. And hence you held firm in that negotiation. You know, so he said, that's my number, and if you want that number, it's going to come with deferred money. And once that was taken back from Lane Hudson, he said, no, I want deferred money. Then that number dropped even further. And I think the idea of holding firm in a negotiation here for Lane Hudson was the smart thing to do, because he outlined many times he has no leverage. That's why when he was pushing back for whatever his big number that he wanted, because maybe he wanted that, maybe he couldn't in the end, that would have been a very contentious situation. It would have taken a long time for this thing to play out. It probably would have ended up in a situation where he's sitting out training camp. Plus, next year, would have had to deliver this. Yes, there was a lot of pressure on Lane. If he wanted that contract, a lot came with it. Plus, to get that contract, they're buying 6 RFA years, right, which are lower, they said on the show, sure, and not as many UFA years. So naturally, that number was fine for the Montreal Canadiens, where you just go to arbitration, solve it, do this like year and year and year, and just keep going. And if Lane Hudson wants to sit out his entire NHL career, you can let him do that, not that. So, in a negotiation where Ted Hughes had all of the power, he's a very good negotiator, and he has everybody on this roster under $10 million that he says to play. Bottom line here, you want this done now before you even play year 2 of your NHL deal. If you want this money, it's there, but it's not to be that number. And he said, yeah, I want $80 million of security for the rest of my life, for my family and for me. So he said, that's cool, I can just go play hockey now. And the thing I should have picked up on, and I realized it yesterday, I was like, I should have noticed this before it was coming. He wanted this deal before the season, like all the big guys. And it frees off like the Davis, like Eichel got it done right before Vegas played and all that stuff. but Lane's on that position. So the second best way to get that done, have the sole opener, which is tonight. That's why that deal got done. You have to walk in there to the Bell Center with that deal done. I'm here for 8 years.
Yeah, biggest ovation probably of the group.
Oh, yeah. After the office would be great. The timing is, it was telegraphed there, and I wish I had noticed that. And it's a wonderful deal for Hudson to secure the money. It's a lot of money.
$100 million next July 1st.
Yeah. And yeah, if you want to do the contract details, it's all bonus. It's beautiful. Yeah, this is the benefit, right? Is that he is able to sign with a team that can offer bonuses like that. Yeah. And signing this year versus next year, you're actually allowed to do this. Yeah. Because Harry Beck is like, before I go out, I need to make it worse. Yeah. And he sure did. And God's left my for it.
This is why I get upset. Like, Adam is the biggest Penguins hater on the show.
I am not.
But you went to the game the other day, and it was the entire.
I did, yeah.
And, no,
Eric Carlson actually did cost me a fantasy, but
Adam is the biggest Penguins hater on the show. But I get upset when Penguins fans push back. You are in. I've seen this page of copy. I've seen. Trade this player for draft pick. Any idiot can do that. So many GMs in this league are good at that. But the reason I sit before you, a husk of a human being, is because he
the Leafs had the hammer and they didn't.
Those RFA negotiations fucked a generation of Leafs hockey. What should have been the golden generation of Leafs hockey.
Wow, Rudy, that's it. Okay.
With them 10 years in, and one of them gone, we're watching it pour through our fingers like sand. We're trying to hold on to something that's gone. They might be good, but it ain't going to be the way it was supposed to be.
You've taken away Hunter's competition as direction.
Well, no. Oh, yeah, I'm sure Habs fans are like, no, get back to the half on this one. Yeah, no, please burn the knife on yourself, Steven. No. It just feels like the Squidward watching SpongeBob and Patrick run around me. Like, I am watching all these young stars that Montreal has take less. And I'm like, cool. Can't wait for Austin to sign for 20 after the next 2 years of them doing, so far looks like fuck all.
Do you want to do the bonus structure? And then,
yeah, I'm doing it.
I got it. And then I think that's such a great point, though. I would love to get wax poetic on how good the Habs will be. 11 million.
Yep.
Next. 11 million. 11. 9.5. 6.5. 6. 5. That's how it kind of lines up in terms of bonus structure.
No, it shows 5 million. I think it shows you how little deferred money appeals to him. No, I'm young. I want all the money now. I'm not John Tavares. I'm not 35. Right? Give me the money.
Yeah, paid the money yet. He wants that giant check on his July 1st.
I would also take $11 million. Yeah, I would take $11 million plus. You don't even have to do it the rest of the time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an amazing deal. It just is. And you know what? It's a bummer because my bid went away. I was really enjoying it. So mad about it. Do you want to play the clip that Habs fans love to now? Yeah, let's go.
We're not popular in this division.
What? I don't know, man. His dad got involved. Like, it did get bad.
He did a very weird 45-minute interview in his car, and we rightly were like, that was on.
Yeah, that's okay. Wayne Hudson and the Montreal Canadiens have taken a beat. The negotiations are extraordinarily tense. For each set of hurt feelings on both sides, and they need to take a beat.
Hurt feelings on both sides? He's been in the league once.
I think Lane's gonna make this thing young Adam.
I honestly, what are you talking about? They just said that they're upset with you. I watched a super weird 45-minute interview in a car.
Yeah.
That suggested otherwise.
Yeah, the noise. I think it's the right thing to do is bag on that. What's going to happen here is he gets a $9 million contract.
You know who the agent is close if you say that.
Sean Coffey, at Vortex Management, would just be Darren Ferris' And if you don't think Ferris is involved in this, you're out of your mind. You question the data. This is a guy whose dad is involved in his career to a level that it's like, and I think this is his dad's negotiation more than it's. I think what we hear out of the gentleman next to me is a lot of Mitch Marner fear mongering. I'm not overthinking it. That is, I want you to stop being mean.
And now it's confused being me. You know what? Still, guys, like, all right, Habs fans, you've had your fun, but we're burying the lead with the next part of the story.
And you and the other guy.
No, the next part of the story. No. Okay, so Lane Hudson signs the contract extension, right?
Yeah.
And then what happened hours later? In the Toronto Star, Ivan Demidov's agent did a super fucking weird interview where he talked about how bad Lane Hudson's contract was. Just kidding. That didn't happen. Imagine being so fucking weird as to do that to a teammate. Imagine missing that person for a moment. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Mitch Marner's cornball agent gave an interview